Hi everyone, and welcome to RollBound 2. I am your DM, Chas, and I'm going to go down the list and have everyone introduce themselves, starting with Groove.
Good tidings. I am Groove, and I am bound to the role of Jonathan Oneros Phage.
Alrighty, Allie.
Hello, I'm Ali, and I am bound to the role of Prince Xander.
Alright, Minnow.
Hello, I am Minnow, and I am bound to the role of Vivian Deshays.
Alright, Joey.
My name is Joey, and I'm bound to the role of Jay Elwood. Forgot his last name for a second.
Alright, Dakota.
Hello everyone, my name is Dakota, and I am bound to the role of Lysel.
And last but never least, Mickey.
Hi, I'm Mickey, and I am bound to the role of Emiko.
Alright, so, where we last left off, we were actually, finishing up the, we had gone through just a mini description of the celebration of you all saving the city of Verdanthus, God. Verdanthus, and, unless there's anything you all want to do in the party, we can continue into the next day where you all discuss, like, because you guys wanted to go back and talk to Ryder, I believe. Because he said that y'all would get paid.
Correct.
Alright, so...
Chas, real quick before we start, can you answer that question for me in our private DMs?
Oh, yeah, let me go look at that.
32.
It's a yes or no question.
You should know better than anyone what it means to ask Chas of all people a yes or no question.
No, but I'll forget.
of answering yes or no questions.
Let me say but.
That's why we never take augury or commune, because the answer is always unsure.
Appreciate it.
Alright.
I have to know, Mickey. Was it a yes or no answer?
Yeah.
Oh.
It just had more information to why it was a no.
Okay, so no.
So yeah, it was a yes or no question. It was answered with a no.
It was answered with a no, but...
A no with context.
Yeah, with no with context.
It's the morning. We go see Ryder.
Yeah, let's go see Ryder. Let's go get fucking paid.
Oh,
Shut up,
yeah,
Joey.
I'm sorry, I can't even. I'm not allowed to say that.
Yeah, so...
Hold on, I'm gonna create a spike in the audio file.
No.
Alright. Now I'll know to go in and take that out later.
Yeah, so you guys wake up fully recovered from whatever partying you did last night, and you head up to where the like security office is, I guess is the best thing to call it. And Ryder and Ambrose are both there, and Ryder looks very relieved. Like, he still kind of looks like a grumpy bitch, but he looks like 10 times more relaxed than he was the last time you saw him.
You love to see it.
And upon your entry, both Ambrose and Ryder look over, and Ambrose does like a half bow, and Ryder just like nods his head, and says, hello, Silver Lining. I hope that your celebration was enjoyable.
Judging by the size of my hangover, I'd say I had a good time last night.
Excellent. The city of Verdanthus is very grateful for what you've done for us. And our fairest mother has given me your reward. And he looks to Ambrose and he goes, Ambrose, go collect it, please. And he goes, oh, sure. And they go into, like, through that door that leads to, like, the prison area, and Ambrose, like, grabs something off of, like, a shelf that's near the door and has to, like, use both arms to carry it, and he goes,
Just imagine him bringing back a fully baked potato.
that he has to carry with 2 arms.
Yeah.
It's actually just a normal sized potato, but it has the, like, density of, I don't know, lead or something. I don't know.
Wait, who are these, like, guys? Like, why does their mom, like, seem like a big deal?
She's not actually their mom, that's the title.
Yeah. They call their leader or queen the Wisp Mother.
Oh, okay.
No.
And, Ambrose brings back, this kind of, like, it's not super big, but it's like a, chest, and he, like, sets it down on the big, like, meeting table, and, he says, this is in our currency, but it should do just fine.
So, just so we know, Chast, the currency of the Aether Spine being glints, and, you say it translates to 600 gold pieces, is that something that we're going to have to go do, or is this another situation of us just hand-waving the difference in currency?
This is something where, like, I'm not gonna make y'all roleplay going and getting it exchanged because it's not, like, a big enough deal where you need to.
So yeah, we're hand-waving it. Gotcha.
Yeah. Like, your next... Yeah, like, your next destination is, literally a city, and you can just walk up and just go to, like, an office somewhere and do that, and we don't need to RP that.
I'm adding it to my wish list for campaign 3, that, going through customs when we go to new places is, like, gonna be super important. Just because I think that'd be funny. Just fucking Kelmer's TSA constantly, like, searching us for shit.
Hey Chas, I'm gonna use Magic Hourglass, by the way.
Oh, excellent. Oh,
Ominous.
That's really funny. In the Aether Spine. Okay, hold on.
No good story has ever started with in the Aether Spine.
Oh no, it's a magical item that's like an hourglass that when you flip it and let the time run out, it does something at the end of it, but you're in a place of, like, wild magic. No, I'm not gonna make it do a wild magic surge because I'm not an asshole.
It's gonna
Please.
spawn a Taras.
No.
Honestly, I would love a magic surge. Wild magic surge.
Yeah, it's all fun and games until you cast Fireball and blow half of us up.
Fireball!
It's so funny. So many people dread that. I think Cassie is just waiting for the day that it happens.
Yes.
I think
I've
Cassie's
had a
like,
character
yes.
die to Fireball before.
Yep.
Did you try
Okay,
dodging?
well, she didn't die, but she did go down. That was Mephilia.
Mm-hmm. I remember that, and it's her own fault, too.
Fucking blew myself up.
Damn, that's crazy.
Friend of mine did that. Triggered it by casting Misty Step.
Oh, no.
So they were 20 feet away from the source of the 20-foot radius. They were like level 2. So it killed half of them.
That is one hell of a parting gift.
So they couldn't have been level 2 if they were casting Misty Step. I don't remember exactly.
Probably level 3 then.
Yeah. Low.
Okay, real quick.
No.
Roll me a
Yeah.
d12 and then tell me what you get.
D12.
Yeah, d12.
D12.
32.
5.
5. Okay, so, I have that thing, but I'll tell you when it goes off.
What?
Because it's an hourglass, so the thing that it triggers does not happen until the hourglass is finished going through.
Oh,
If
great.
Emiko,
Delayed bastard black fireball.
say if Emiko just starts violently shitting, we'll know why.
You rolled dysentery.
Not you roll dysentery.
Uh-oh.
Bro, I can't wait until we get to 9th level and Johnny can start casting testicular torsion on people.
So we have they gave us the money. Is there anything else we need from these guys?
I do not believe so. They just, they thank you. They give you a, chunk of change. Also, the box it's not magical, but it is, expensive, so y'all can sell it later.
Ooh.
It's
Some
very...
fancy box.
Yeah, it's a very, ornate little chest.
Putting it in loot? My loot, that is.
Yeah, I was thinking, you guys can just have that.
Does it by any chance open up into another extra dimensional space?
No.
I throw it out the fucking window because it's useless to me. Dakota, that was a reference to campaign 1.
The box.
I'm sorry.
The box.
You
Yeah.
throw it out the window and you find it's made out of super ball material.
And
It just
stops
starts
being
bouncing all over the room.
my problem once it's out the window. Great. So yeah, we thank them. We leave.
Oh, yeah, actually, I can... That is the one last thing. Ryder is going to look to Ambrose and then, take something out of his, pocket, and it looks like a literal, it just looks like a branch. And he hands it to Ambrose and says, try to get them as close to their destination as possible.
Right.
And Ambrose will go, oh, of course. And he looks to the rest of you and says, so, Silver Lining, is there anything you need to do before you all depart? Or are you ready to go back home?
Xander says, hold on a minute. And then he sneezes and he says, alright, I'm good.
Yeah. Although, speaking of which, as Ambrose starts to, lead you all outside, and he's kind of, leading you towards the exit of the city, all of you, you're wait! And, Lycophos, the individual that, you've been helping get everything that you did done here, is running down the street because he was still at the tavern, and he skids to a halt and just holy shit, I overslept. Okay. Fuck. Okay. He lifts a finger and says, I wanted excuse me, I had a gift for all of you before you left. Sorry. And he takes out, and he reaches into his bag and he takes out two things. One, he takes out a dagger that looks very, very old. But very, it's very nice looking. It's made out of a steel that looks almost black, but kind of has this, blue sheen to it. And the hilt is, wrapped in, it's, just wrapped in wrappings, and they're kind of, loose and falling apart, despite the fact that it looks very old and maybe a little, it looks very, very old, but you can tell it's, very, very well made. Just by, looking at, the shape and the craftsmanship of it. And he also takes out a a piece of like polished jade, but he kind of like holds on to that more specifically. And he holds out the dagger to whoever will take it and says, Achios gave this to me when I was old enough to need to wield weapons. And I don't need it anymore. But it could be of use to you.
Yeah, Johnny will take the dagger and will identify it.
And he like nods. And then he looks at Xander and he hands him the piece of jade.
Xander will accept it and kind of hold it up to the light, and ask, "This is a very pretty gem. What is it? You don't mind my asking?"
It's a piece of polished, minted, aether spine, jade. You can only find it here. It's kind of embarrassing. I looked up, I read a book, about, before I fell asleep, about, where you're from, because I've never heard of it, and, yeah. Farewell, Silver Lining, and he, like, kind of, like, backs away very awkwardly, but Xander, a custom of your people, where you're from, is that people will gift each other like polished stones that like look kind of like the person they're gifting it to, or like themselves. It's like a little cute thing that Earth Duresi do, but typically it can either be a romantic thing or a platonic thing, and it basically like symbolizes like I am giving you part of myself or something like that. But overall in all, like through all the like weird meanings of its stuff, it typically means I want to see you again.
Aww.
As he's, because he basically like gave that to Xander, was like, "Okay, thanks, bye," and then like ran away.
Yeah. He like started rambling about, he was like, yeah, I looked up a thing and okay, I'm leaving.
Xander will start to say something, realize Lycophos is already gone, and then just kind of clutch it to his chest for a second before placing it with his personal effects.
Seemed like it was in a rush to get away. Did you scare him or something?
Something like that.
I think he likes you. And Abigail's gonna poke at Xander.
I mean, to be fair, what's not to like?
Sorry. Oh, that was I thought that was a jest. When nobody else is laughing.
I'm just fucking with you. I'm sorry. Anyway, we're burning daylight, I think. I don't know. It's hard to tell yet. Shall we?
Yeah, let's go get Arathil, go get our mounts, and we will get out of here.
And we do so.
Okay, sorry, I was putting the dagger in a loot.
As we're getting ready to head out, lights, I'm gonna check on the egg.
Oh, yeah. Make me a no, I'm not gonna do that to you. Make me a survival check.
Make a guidance.
Man, that guidance sounds really weird. That's a loan again. Instead of survival?
Yeah.
20 plus.
Support help. Oh, you don't even need it. Okay.
Oh, Is that like advantage?
If I could, yeah. I have proficiency in survival.
Jazz.
What's up?
Would that be advantage if Emiko's helping?
Yeah.
So that turns a 20 flat into a 23.
Yeah,
Hey.
you look into your bag and, check on the egg, because you guys have been through a lot, maybe, just want to look at it. It feels still warm to the touch, the runes on it are still glistening, but, as you're, feeling it, when your hand grazes it, it actually, shakes a little bit. You get the feeling that, it's gonna hatch soon, not so soon that you're like, oh no, I'm not in a place to, look at a creature that is, doing that, but it pretty soon, probably within the next week or so.
I think Lifestyle's gonna kind of show that as well as they can to Emiko, who's I imagine standing fairly close by as they're also looking at the egg. I think it's getting kind of close.
That's awesome. I wonder what's gonna hatch.
I imagine some variety of dinosaur.
Yeah,
Wouldn't
it's
it be
some
funny?
type of raptor.
Wouldn't it be funny if they just picked up a griffin egg?
That'd be real weird.
Alright, so, you gather all your things, you gather your witch, aka Erthil, who has been having a great time, by the way. She, bought herself a new dress.
Do you have money?
Yeah, well, she would actually let you know that Cell had paid her a little bit for helping out while you guys were gone. And she's, telling Vivian how excited she is because she got a new dress, and then Cell made her a new hat.
Great, yeah.
And as you all leave the city and Ambrose leads you through, he takes you kind of to the area that you first entered the Aether Spine in, and he takes out that branch that Ryder gave him and he breaks it in half in his fist. And he whispers a few words under his breath, and the markings on his face start to glow. And a portal similar to the one that you saw them enter through when you first met them, and all of that appears in front of him. And he says, while it won't be exactly in the city, it'll be a very short walk away.
Xander gets a worried expression for a second and says, how likely are the chances that this is going to summon us 300 feet in the air and drop us to our death?
None at all.
Okay, great. And then Xander steps through.
Yeah, and once everybody is through, again, you feel that weird pull, you are being, simultaneously torn apart and re-put back together, and like you are spinning but also standing still. And when the discomfort fades, you open your eyes and you see sunlight filtering through the trees, and you see that you are on a stone road. There is no portal behind you. You just see that when you guys arrive, you are surrounded in a circle of leaves, they were gently placed in a circle. And the wind, after you notice it, blows them away.
Okay. Does anyone now know which direction we should go on this road?
Yes, we go this way.
What?
Where's the sun at in the sky?
The sun is directly above you. So it's midday. Well, early midday. It's not quite directly above you, like 11 a.m.
We go this way.
But if anyone wants to try and, regather yourselves, make me a survival check. Oh,
We did make our survival checks out here.
I'm going to be casting Druidcraft to see what the weather is going to be like for the next 24 hours.
It is definitely cold. Colder than when you guys were last here. And near the end of the day, it might start a light snow. But that's at nighttime.
Wait, what time of the season did we leave?
It was winter, but it was the first month of winter.
And it's now like springy.
No, now it's no, it's actually colder than last time you were here.
Okay.
You'll have to forgive Mickey and Dakota.
Oh,
where
shit,
we're from.
fucker.
It indeed snows in the spring a lot. So
Rolls. There we go. No, don't do that.
Oh god, we
Oh,
lost
yeah,
a full year.
I just noticed you put that in loot. That's funny. Jesus Christ, Dakota.
There are not, in fact, other numbers, and you can't prove it.
Just by myself not being from here.
Dakota's D20s all have like 2 extra 20s on them.
Love everybody.
Dakota's dice have 10 20s and 10 1s on them. That's what it is.
Alright. So, Emiko and Lysel, it doesn't take you too terribly long to, like, get your bearings, and you guys figure out that you basically just need to, like, the way that you guys are literally facing when you step through the portal is the way that you need to walk.
Cool.
Yeah,
We
very easy. I'm gonna make a roll real quick. If I can get... Oh, cool. And then, just gonna take a quick gander at my notes.
Also, just real quick, that jade that Lycophos gave Xander, it doesn't appear like magical or anything, right?
Make me an Arcana check, Xander.
I will do so. I will give myself guidance.
I accidentally opened my character sheet.
That's 25. Natural 19, plus 3 from guidance, plus 3 from my proficiency.
That's really good. It definitely is. It was, it at first wasn't, like, noticeable. But it is it's a sending stone.
I will keep that in mind and mark it on my character sheet. Thank you.
Okay.
I assume this is the variety that only, like, is connected to one other stone.
Yeah.
So he can let you know when he's on your plane.
Yeah.
Right. Oh. That's not where I put that. This is where I put it. Yay. Okay. Ooh. Yeah, as you're all walking along the road, I would like everybody to make me perception checks.
I'm gonna give guidance to Emiko.
Ooh. That's D4, right?
Which was a good call, because I rolled a natural 3. Yes.
Where's there? Nope, that's performance. Oh, that's bad. Hey, yo.
Pirouette.
I actually
Fucking
don't have...
That's a nice number you rolled, Allie.
Jay and Xander fucking do the nightly handshake and headbutt each other.
Yeah, so... I'm guessing Groove is still driving and can't make the roll right now, but that's fine. Because 2 of you succeeded anyway, so... You're walking and you actually see that there's, like, a tree that has, like, a kind of, like, thick, trunk. And it has a bunch of things pinned into it, like pieces of paper. And you actually see that there's, like, a man who's, like, in, like... I don't know how to say it. Like, you know the stereotypical bard outfit that, like, people do? Yeah. It's like that, but less fancy. and he's sitting there, like, nailing papers to it, and he has, like, a roll of them in his arms, and he, like, nods like he's happy about his work, and he walks away and, like, continues going down the road.
Excuse me.
Is he just, like, posting advertisements for himself? Is that what's happening?
No, it looks like it's, like, random bits of, like, news, and, like, when Emiko calls out to him, he goes, "Ha! Ha! Hello? I don't have any money."
What?
What?
You don't look like you have money. Oh, sorry.
Good, I think. Did you need something?
I'm just gonna look at the tree. Sorry, when you said like rolled up pieces of paper, I kind of like assumed this was like a wish tree for some reason. But is it just like postings? Like, is this some guy just like putting out like this is happening or like?
Yeah. He's
What?
yeah, he's posting like stuff that's going on in SkyMount. Now that you guys are like a little closer because you're talking to him.
Emiko's gonna be like, "Oh, sorry, thought you were someone else," and then she's gonna like go to the tree.
Oh. Have a good day, and he like.
Xander steps forward and says, hold a moment. Who might you be, fair spreader of good news far and wide?
My name's Arthur.
A pleasure to meet you, Arthur. I am Prince Xander of Petrus. Are we close to the city, then? It seems like it would be wasteful for you to do this out in the middle of random woods miles away.
Yeah, it's only a 30-minute walk down this road.
Your information is most generous, Arthur. Thank you. And if you don't mind me asking, what is your trade? You are dressed rather peculiarly, if you don't mind me asking.
Oh, I'm a town crier normally, but in the morning before I start my work, my boss has me come out here and go to the where we post news bulletins and put up some papers before I go do my town crier stuff.
I see. Well, thank you for indulging my curiosity, Arthur. Perhaps we'll run into you into the city, but for now, Xander's going to toss him a silver.
Oh, thank you very much.
Well, if your trade is information, it seems only fair to pay you for your work.
Of course. If you guys need a good place to sleep, if you're new to the city, the Yawning Dragon is a great tavern. Have a good day.
You as well, Arthur.
And he's, like, trying to keep all the papers under his arm as he's, like, walking to the city, like...
After he's out of earshot, Xander turns to Vivian and says, I don't understand why he wouldn't just have a bag. It seems so impractical, carrying
Also-
it around like that.
He's giving city news 30 minutes outside of the city.
Xander shrugs. Frankly,
For
I have
any
no
travelers?
concept of whether or not that's normal.
I don't know what is normal in a city either. It doesn't make sense to me, but hey, what do I know?
Like, as you're all having this conversation, a cart rides behind you along the road. The person driving, like, squints at the tree, nods, and then keeps going.
Oh, come on.
How big is the text?
You can read it. Not like something.
From a cart on the road, he's like squinting over. He's able to read, Edward needs his roof thatched. He's willing to pay someone 5 apples. Understood. I have read this one thing, and I know everything that's going on. Most likely he's thinking like, man, this would be more useful to people that live more than 30 minutes within the city.
Damn.
Yeah. He more of
Probably
like more of to see if it's like anything bad, like quickly skims the thing. Alright.
Sure.
Okay.
He doesn't see the word dragon anywhere, and he's like, whatever, it's just someone who wants us to thatch his roof. Who cares?
Yeah. But
Delightful.
when you guys get to like the little thing, you see a few things. For one, you see something with the date on it.
I assume we read this from the road.
Emiko said that she had approached the tree, so I assume that you guys got closer.
Emiko would have been at the tree already.
We leave Emiko behind.
Damn, that's
Okay.
crazy.
What's it say on the tree chest?
Xander refused to leave Emiko behind.
Yeah, you guys see like a little news bulletin thing, and it has the date on it. It is Draco 1st on the day of the week that is called Divinity.
Birthday was yesterday.
Happy birthday.
Wait, what?
Wait, how many days was that since we left?
The last known date was Cyrus 21st, so 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th, 31st, Draco 1st. So it has been 11 days.
Oh, that's not so bad.
It's better than like a year.
Also, I'm sorry, I genuinely didn't catch it. Did Mickey say Emiko's birthday was yesterday?
Yeah.
Xander gets hype as fuck and says, "Well, happy birthday, Emiko! I'm sorry that we kind of sort of missed it, but not really."
It's okay. It's not a big deal.
So does this mean that we should have celebrated it for like 2 hours while we were in the Aether Spine if we wanted to make it count like for the same amount of time?
That
Yeah,
mouth is going to lead you nowhere good.
You guys did have a celebration like before your last EP9 night, so like maybe you celebrated it.
I don't think Xander was smart enough to realize that it was Emiko's birthday at that time.
But there's also something else, and this thing actually piques Jay's interest. At first it's just random news stuff like, winter's coming up, the weather's gonna get worse, it's gonna start snowing in the area, stuff like that. But Jay, you see a wanted poster.
Now we're getting somewhere.
The individual drawn onto the wanted poster looks very familiar to you.
Please say it's one of us.
Mostly because, it kind of looks like your mother, which means you know exactly who it is.
Are you gonna DM me who it is? Because I don't think that is it actually my mother, or are you?
No, it is the.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was kind of a thing of like, it's the individual who killed your mother who was impersonating her while doing so.
I'm gonna rip that wanted poster off the wall. I'm taking that with us.
Yeah, what it said on it was wanted, dead or alive, highly dangerous, was seen fleeing in the direction of, unsure between Viron, like upper Viron or lower license.
Holy.
Yeah, y'all just see Jay very quickly, rip that off.
Xander is going to clear his throat and say, "Well, normally, based on everything I know about you, if this was just you being excited about claiming a bounty, you would have some proclamation of how we're going to seek glory by bringing this ne'er-do-well to justice, but I'm guessing this is personal."
You would be correct. This is not a matter of glory, but a matter of vengeance.
All right. Where are we going and who are we killing?
This! We are killing this! And he's gonna hold up the the wanted poster. He's gonna shake it like it's a fucking stapler. Only I get that joke.
Shake it like it's a stapler?
It's
Shaking it when it's open and you're trying to get it unjammed?
No.
Right.
I don't want to. I don't know if I should get into it because it's kind of
We should
long-winded
not.
and stupid.
Who is the person on the poster, Sir Elwyn?
That's a good question. Do I know her name?
Hold on, before I like outright lie to you.
Okay.
Cause this is
Because
something.
if she's in disguise, it wouldn't say her name on the wanted poster. It would just say, "Find someone that looks like this."
Very early on, we asked you about this, and you did not know what they looked like or who they were, and it frustrated the hell out of Vivian. But then she found out it's probably a changeling.
Yeah, you don't have a name for her because, like, again, she was using your mother's identity as, like, a, crutch to be able to do shit in Redka. And then that really big attack happened, and she, just, like, maintained that form. So she used your mother's identity, and then also just kind of, like, even outside of, like, leaning into that, kind of looked like her. Which is how you're able to, like, recognize.
Okay. Then, when you asked directly who she was. He says, "I can't give you an answer as to who she is, but I can tell you that she has done a lot of wrongdoings. And from what I've been tracking of her, this seems to be in the direction that I was going to be heading anyways, so it's lucky that we were on the trail." And he's gonna hand Vivian the wanted poster, and he's gonna say, "You can pass that around if you would like. Let everyone take a look at it so that we understand who we're looking for. She might not be in disguise anymore, but if you recognize, ideally, we could find somebody else that has seen this poster, or maybe the person that even sketched it. If we can find out what color the eyes are supposed to be, that would be a good cue."
Yeah, Vivian holds it up to Gale on her shoulder and then passes it around to everyone else.
Xander takes a good long look.
Yeah, and... Okay, sorry. I, like, sprinted to go get a beverage. But as that all gets passed around, the only other things on here are, like, random little bits of news, like, there is a festival coming up, a, like, smaller end, festival that is about, like, crafting, trinkets and stuff like that. It's like a little art show where people can sell their things that's taking place in, like, a marketplace. There's more information about the passing of the king and how there has not been, like, a adjustment in finding out who will take the crown, because once again the king had no next of kin, so that's something they're still trying to figure out. And go ahead. No, go ahead.
What I was gonna say is, since we're not able to find anything on the bulletin, can I ask around and see if, you know what? I'm gonna do this incognito actually.
Incognito.
Yeah. Because if the person on the wanted poster finds out that we're hunting her because a giant fucking soldier wearing silver ass armor with a big ass capote and a huge plume coming out of his helmet is asking questions, then she's gonna be onto us real quick.
Yeah, fair.
So I suppose in that case, what I will do is I will say, does anyone else besides, well, me now, have any business in this city?
Quite a lot of business.
Quite a lot of business. Then I suggest we find some place to stay and get that set up so that we might reconvene at a later date and time. I think I might have to go snooping, and I don't want to be drawing attention while I do so.
Well, you still shouldn't go alone. I can go with you.
That would be perfect, actually. We can masquerade as... I don't know anything, really. It doesn't matter. I can do whatever we want, but...
Why don't we get set up first, all
Yes,
together,
good idea.
and then we can come up as a plan from there. We have a lot of things we want to accomplish in the city.
So, nearest tavern?
What was the one that good old Artemis recommended us?
The Yawning Dragon.
Let's do that one.
Yeah, so you start to make way towards the city of SkyMount. After walking for like maybe about 5 more minutes along this road, the trees kind of clear up and you see the city ahead of you. At least the part of the city that you were entering from, because SkyMount is a very, 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 very large city. To scale the entire thing from top to bottom would basically be like scaling the entire side of the country of Farwood, even though Farwood's the smallest country in Kelmra. It is a very, very, very big place. As you approach, you see that there are tall, like, ivory-colored spires that end in, like, green or blue. Many towers. The architecture is very intricate and very pretty looking, especially even from a distance. It almost looks like a painting when you're looking at it. And, like, as you get closer, the streets start to get more full, with, like, people on their carts that are coming in and out of the city. There are people, there's like a little bit, I don't want to call it a village, because it's not even large enough to be named, but there are people that live outside the walls of the city. You can tell that these are like working people that are, doing things like farming, trading, stuff like that. But even the outer parts of the city still look fairly nice and well put together. Some people wave at you as you approach, some people don't pay you any mind. And this particular area of the city has like I don't want to say a wall, because it doesn't like scale the whole thing, but it does have like a little setup with like the entry and a gate, with like guards posted out front, but the like portcullis that lets you inside is open, and the guards are just like taking like cursory glances at the people coming through, but not questioning each and every one. Give me 1 second. Sorry. My cat is screaming, and it is very distracting. Okay. Also, upon gaining entry into SkyMount, there is, I don't want to say a map, but there's like one of those like wooden signs that like points in the direction of like places to go. There is the Merchants Guild, the Yawning Dragon, the Hurricane District. So I'm like scrolling. Where the fuck? Oh, I accidentally clicked off of it. Why did I do that to myself? Sorry, I've been using this app for a year and I still sometimes forget how to navigate it. Like a dingus. Okay, no, that was it. Alright. Yeah, the sign points to the Yawning Dragon, the Hurricane District, and the Merchants Guild as like things that are kind of like in proximity to this entrance to the city.
Yawning Dragon we go.
Yawning Dragon we go.
Yeet.
Yeah, the city is filled with people. There are people with like random little carts like parked on the side of the road, like selling things, selling street food, trinkets, jewelry, anything like that. Just trying to get anyone's attention that they can. There's even like a live performance going on, like kind of like offshoot of the entrance near like the start of that little shopping district. where there's like someone like playing a violin and waiting for people to give them tips. It is very busy at this time of morning, just before noon in SkyMount, and you follow all the road signs that lead you to the Yawning Dragon, which is a large building that kind of looks like a miniature castle, but obviously not as grandiose as such, and there's like a sculpture of a dragon, like kind of like offshoot to the door that kind of like curls around it that makes a mini quote-unquote hall or pathway into the tavern itself. And there's like smoke coming out of its nose, because in its little mouth there's like a mini fireplace that lights up the front of the building. So when you walk into the tavern, there is a bunch of stuff going on. There's already a lot of people here. The bar is like 10 feet across and has like a big display of like all types of alcohol and even other drinks. And this tavern actually has like a small convenience store attached to it on the right hand side. And then another thing that you notice is that one of the waiters at this place has a literal pseudo-dragon on his arm. That, like... No, but depending on the, meal that the people sitting down are eating, he'll, lean down and the pseudo-dragon will, blow fire on it to, torch the top of it. You see the dragon does it to, this, type of soup, and then also does it to someone's hot chocolate so that the whipped cream and marshmallows on top get, a little toasted. And it looks very proud of itself.
Awesome.
Yeah, very well decorated, very well lit. The interior smells like cinnamon and honey with maybe a little bit of underlying scent of booze, but not in a bad way. You know, it smells like when someone fresh opens a bottle. But also the light smell of burning embers, of a fire. And which makes sense because Little Pseudo Dragon, there's also a big fireplace with a rug in front of it that some people, rather than sitting at tables, are sitting in little comfy chairs surrounding it. And when you all walk in, all of the people working greet you hello, welcome in, all that stuff. Very busy, but not so much so that you guys can't find a place to sit or have trouble making your way to the counter.
Great, yeah, Vivian's gonna go get some rooms.
Yeah.
Don't put any of those rooms under my name.
Wasn't planning on it.
Thank you.
Xander's going to accompany Viv to the bar, I guess.
Yeah, there's actually a little quote-unquote sign, carving in the wood inside the building that tells you, the store is a store. If you want to buy rooms, go to the barkeep. And there's 3 individuals behind the bar, and rooms are 5 gold apiece.
Per night?
Usually it's for a... Hold on, I actually have this written down because I wrote out a bit about this tavern. No, it's 5 gold a week. It's 5 gold a week for a room.
Oh, okay.
Each. Yeah.
Sure, we get 6 rooms?
30 gold.
Should we get 6? Shouldn't we only have 2?
She's already got 6?
Oh my god.
Puts down 30 gold. Oh, done. Arathil can crash with me for now. Do you have 6 rooms?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Do you have 7 rooms?
Yes.
6 is fine. Arathil, you can crash with me.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Great, 6 rooms, done. Vivian goes upstairs and starts packing her stuff up.
Yeah, he gives everyone their keys. Oh, which of course have the writing on it. Go ahead.
Xander is going to look to the barkeep and say, "Heard anything interesting?"
Do. He, like, looks you up and down as if trying to figure out, like, what type of gossip he should tell you, and then he looks at, like, the people you came in with, and he says, there's a few things going on in the area, at least at this side of the city. For one, there's a fucking god, could not remember the word. There's a Church of Guinevere that was recently broken into. Everyone's been a little weirded out by it, but it's not necessarily that it was broken into that's the weird part. The weird part is that one of the priestesses there has been mysteriously, like, blinded. Can't see a thing. She was working late that night and now completely blind.
Interesting. We don't have to go through every single thing, but like, is there anything else that that he tells Xander that sounds interesting?
The only other stuff is, like, little tiny things that, like, would be more important if you were actually from SkyMount. But one thing that does pique your interest is he does mention a place called the Wandering Light Monastery. Nothing, like, crazy happened there, but he says that, like, one of the kind of well-known monks has, like, gone missing. Like, he ran away. Like, they know that he specifically, like, ran off and nobody knows why.
Xander's gonna look to Emiko and ask, is that typical for a monk?
Would she know? She spent like a few months at the monastery, so...
I don't think you need to make a check for this. Typically, if someone is tied to a monastery, you know, and they're, like, you know, known to be there, and maybe they teach people things, or maybe they just make that their home, warning off without warning is not normal.
Unfortunately not without warning, so that does seem particularly odd.
Alright, well, thank you for the information. Xander is going to give the barkeep 4 silver for the information.
Oh, thank you. And he, like, reaches under the counter and he hands you a blueberry muffin.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the muffin and I'm gonna split it with Emiko.
Hell yeah.
It is the tastiest, freshest blueberry muffin you have ever had.
It's also poisoned. Roll accounts it.
No. It's, like, covered with, like, yummy, like, streusel on top. And the blueberries, like, are actually, like, properly melted into the bread. It's very tasty.
One more thing I do want to ask him about real quick. I think Xander, like, goes to walk away and then, like, has an epiphany and turns back to him. Says, by the way, I saw a wanted poster posted outside the city for some woman. I've never seen her before, but something about wanted dead or alive, and that she headed westward. Was it? You know anything about that?
He is going to make a roll real quick. He kind of, like, squints for a second and looks like he's trying to remember, and then he goes, oh, and he, like, leans forward a little bit, as if not to, like, disturbed, like, the other people around him. He goes, she's wanted for murder, you see. Wasn't necessarily in SkyMount, but someone paid a pretty hefty price to make sure that the people of SkyMount knew that she existed. In Paylor, actually. She murdered an entire household.
Paylor, eh? That's a very risky place for that sort of business.
You would think, but she made it out without so much as a scratch. And I'm just saying, Paylor has the best guard, and it's where a lot of the knights are, and no one saw a thing. The only reason...
Anybody?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Xander was going to ask, does anybody know anything about this family line? Like, that doesn't seem like a random attack if she killed all of them.
Word has it that they were at the wrong place, wrong time type of deal. They
The
think
whole family?
I think it was one of them, and then the whole family went as, collateral.
Damn.
Says something that the father had accidental dealings with vampires. Very tricky stuff.
Xander is going to take a couple notes in his Book of Shadows, and then is going to nod and say, well, I'll be sure to keep an eye. I certainly don't want to tangle with someone like that.
Yeah.
Thank you, my friend.
Yeah, word has it she headed in the direction of either License or Viron. They couldn't quite track, but still be careful. Vampires work in groups.
By the way, what was the family name? If you don't mind me asking. Do you know?
That's not my area of knowledge, but I'm sure you'd be able to find it. Wouldn't be that hard to find,
Were they nobles?
No, they were just, I would say, lower middle class. Just a working family. I think one of them owned a store in the area.
In SkyMount?
No, in Paylor, where
Oh.
the murder took place. Yeah, they were just a little family, owned a store, but something about this woman scared them so bad that they spread news everywhere, including here. But I'm guessing it's because we're relatively close to Paylor, and if she left from Paylor, she would have had to cross through SkyMount at some point.
Is SkyMount the capital of Farwood?
No, Paylor is.
Okay. Does Xander know if there's any way to, while remaining in SkyMount, figure out what family this was?
You probably could. It would just take a little bit of digging, a little bit of, getting information, you know? Especially if someone asked that news be delivered here, that means that information has to be somewhere in the city.
Xander is... it's kind of tricky. Xander is going to look to Johnny and kind of pull him off to the side, away from earshot of anybody else. And is... I'm going to paraphrase this so it's faster. Basically, Xander wants to know if Johnny has any way of identifying Thieves' Camp.
DM, can I use comprehend languages to understand Thieves' Camp?
I would say so. There'd probably be several people that disagree with me, but I would say so.
Indeed, I can. For what purpose do you need this, Xander?
I'm thinking if we're going to find this person, we're going to need the help of an information broker, but one that doesn't necessarily operate on the up and up, so to speak.
I understand. However, we must not convene with evildoers.
Xander sighs, thinks about that for a second, and says,
Now, I must say, merely operating beyond the laws of this land may not constitute evil. Rather, it is a reason for caution that evil may have been done.
Johnny,
If we do come across such an evildoer, while I will assist you, they must be struck down. Are we in agreement?
We are in agreement, but must they be struck down immediately?
Nay, just like this wand, he holds it up. An artifact of evil may be used to dispense further evil, but only for a time.
Alright then. Are you familiar with the phrase, keep your friends close and your enemies closer?
It's the first time I've heard it. I am not.
Essentially, the wisdom behind that phrase is if you keep your adversaries within earshot and within sight, you'll be able to monitor them and perhaps use them to uncover, putting it in a way that you can understand, you could use them to uncover greater evil. You could use them as a resource. It's also worth noting that obviously there's a lot of evil things in the world that are protected through politics, magic, or any other power, so in that case you would want to keep them close for a moment of opportunity to consume them.
Perhaps.
Just something to chew on, if you'll pardon the pun.
I am always hungry for food for thought.
Do you have a way of warding rooms so we can't be overheard?
I do not. However, he pulls one of these sending coins. With these, we could have a private conversation. Additionally, no. We could create a room that is warded from outside influences. But we will have to do it when night falls.
Interesting. Alright then, let's head upstairs and check out our new rooms, shall we?
Very well.
Xander is going to head up, and then as he's doing so, he's going to look to Emiko with kind of a concerned expression and say, You doing okay?
To be honest, Emiko went up to her room as soon as you started talking to Johnny.
Well, so he looks over, he turns to where Emiko was, and there's like that anime thing where there's like a dotted line outline of where Emiko was that like blinks a couple times, and he just says shit and then goes upstairs.
Did we make a plan to like meet in whoever's room?
No, we did not.
After 10 minutes, Vivian pokes her head out. Everyone meet in my room. Door closed.
Xander immediately goes to Vivian's room.
Is there a time limit on that? Like, when
She did not give a time limit.
It will take like 5 minutes.
Is Lysel still like in the bottom area?
No, I think I would have also gone up to unpack, so as soon as they finish, I'd head over.
Oh, so that just leaves Jay downstairs alone.
It's been like 10. It's been like 10 minutes. Honestly, if you haven't unpacked in 10 minutes, that's on you.
Jay has to mold for a little bit.
Sure, it does take you 10 minutes literally to get out of your armor, so maybe I'm being overly harsh.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a long time. Like, that's not that long. I don't have retainers. I barely have a squire.
You've also never taken off your armor before, so you have no excuse to actually fuck you.
Oh, you know what? Fair enough. I'll just go upstairs.
Yeah.
Just
I can carry like 5 times my body weight or whatever the hell ants can do, so it's fine.
I would just like to say, right? I mean, Jay's armor, as far as we know, isn't like, super fucking magical. It doesn't change shape to suit appearance that he takes. So hypothetically, he could just, change his shape to be small size. The armor would fall off of him, and then he could just like climb out of it.
But it's still
Jay
like,
has never thought of that before, and he is not going to think of that either, unless told otherwise.
it's still like interlocking pieces though, so he'd have to like.
Yeah, I would need to
detangle
like
himself,
undo all of the snaps and shit.
but he would instead be a child trying to get out,
Yeah,
which is much funnier.
that would be way more difficult now that you put it that way. That sounds like it'd be torture. Like
Because
they
he
force
also has,
like they equip like they like as a method of torture they put changelings in heavy ass armor and then like force them to shrink.
Yeah, you also have like itty bitty legs, so like you're stumbling over your. All right, regardless, everyone in
Yeah.
Vivian's room.
All right.
Great. Once everyone's there, she says, "Great. So finally made it to SkyMount. We have a lot of things that we need to do. What do we need to do first?"
Were we getting information about the V? What was her name?
Mama V.
Mama V.
V.
Yes, we do need to speak with Mama V. She is in the city.
But
I am hoping.
first and most pressing issue is Emiko's affliction.
I don't really think it's that important right now.
Well, I mean, it's not like it's gotten that much worse, has it?
No, not at all. She like hides her hands behind her head.
You know, that's
Vivian?
what people say when they have a terrible affliction that is going to spread to others and they don't want it to.
Vivian does.
Well, we
again.
learned it's not contagious, so it doesn't matter.
But if you're hiding it that frantically, then surely it must be much more of a deal than you're letting on, no?
Vivian
No,
does
I'm
the
just-
official art pose, hands on hips, like holds out one hand and just looks at Emiko.
Damn, she went into official art
Says-
pose. You're crazy. You're
says-
done.
Hand.
Emiko's gonna stand there for a minute and then sigh and just hold out her arms. She would have been like out of her like cloak, so she's just in her like top and like her dress. So it can see her all of her arms. Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
No worries. Yeah, Vivian takes it, like looks it all over, sniffs it, says, "Yeah, no, that's worse." Yeah, okay, that's priority one.
How like visibly worse is it? Like,
It has now gone past your hands and starting to go up your wrists.
oh yeah, okay. It's not that much worse.
Yeah, originally it was like just cresting your palms. Now it is past your palms and all the way down to your
Ew.
wrist.
Oh, and it just like hides the burn on her wrist as well.
Hold up, what's
Yeah,
that?
you got
Hang
them
on.
goth gloves from Hot Topic on right now. That's what it is.
What's this burn too?
This burn? I don't know. What burn?
Vivian stares at you.
I don't know. It must have been from one of the attacks from the shadow things. I don't know.
When did it happen?
When we fought the things, right?
Lady Emiko, I would like to be very clear. I am not going to be mad, but I do need to know when did this happen and what caused it.
I feel like she's asking the DM.
Okay. Well, so you remember the night that we were in the like pond area and you got kidnapped by a whole bunch of like, what was it, crows?
Hard to forget, yes.
Okay, so it was that night I had this dream about this hot guy
Hot guy!
that lives
hot?
in my bracelet now. And when I woke up, the burn was underneath the bracelet, and yeah.
Okay, 2 questions for you. Number 1,
Yeah.
how hot? Number 2, is this the first dream you've had of him?
On a scale of 1 to like 10, I would say like a 6, but like he was covered in like wrappings, so I couldn't really tell.
Mm-hmm.
He just like
So a
looked
plus or
really
2
tall.
either way? Yeah?
Yes.
Got it?
And no, this is the first dream I had of him.
And you're not, is she still wearing the bracelet?
Yeah.
Vivian is like, I said I wasn't going to get mad. I said I wasn't going to get mad. I said I wasn't going to get mad. And she just says, Lady Emiko,
Yeah.
is there a reason that you are still wearing the bracelet?
Well, yeah, because he was nice, and I don't see anything wrong with it.
She holds up your hand and looks at the burn.
I think it's just a burn. I get a whole bunch of bruises all the time.
I wanna try something actually. So Xander is going to touch Emiko's hand. I'd say around where like the bracelet is around her wrist actually. I'm going to attempt to cast Remove Curse.
Would Emiko know what you're doing?
You can make an Arcana check.
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
You have seen me
Also,
do it
like,
before, but it
not
was
let
a
him
while
touch
ago.
your wrist.
Yeah.
You can also say, like,
Well-
why are you touching me? Like, what are you...
No, Emiko wouldn't be mad about Xander touching her, but if, like, she knows what he's doing, she would try to stop him.
Yeah.
Fuck.
What'd you get?
10.
I'm saying, you have a right to arcane autonomy. Nobody can deny you that.
Yeah, this is true. Hey, you can
Does
say...
not say that the target has to be willing. I'm
Well,
What?
we have an entirely different ethical issue.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
Well, I guess that depends. Are you casting it on Emiko, or are you
No, I'm
casting it on
casting
the
it on the
bracelet?
bracelet.
Okay. So you go. Sorry, I just burped. Well, so you go to cast the spell, and nothing happens.
Yeah, so I think how this manifests is as Xander touches the bracelet, a layer of sand forms around it and then just explodes outwards in a puff of smoke. And Xander notices the sand is clean. Just says, "Oh, interesting."
What was
Well,
that?
it's not a code.
Lady Emiko, may I please borrow the bracelet for 30 seconds and I will return it. On my honor, I will.
Why?
I would like to inspect it very closely without tampering with it.
So you're not going to try to use magic on it?
No.
Okay, I think Emiko will try to slide it off.
Yeah. You can take it off. And like when you take it off, that like kind of presence that's been at the back of your mind leaves. But you get the feeling that it's just because it's been something attached to you, that it's not like permanent.
Okay, I think when she feels that person leave, Emiko's gonna like pause for a second, like not wanting to give the bracelet over, before she drops it into Vivian's hand.
Vivian says, great, thank you so much. She's going to put the bracelet on. Do I feel anything?
When you put the bracelet on, you do feel something, but it doesn't like linger in your mind. You feel the energy specifically on your wrist.
Okay. She's going to lean down towards her wrist and she's going to speak. And she's going to say, now you listen here, motherfucker, and you listen good. I care about Lady Emiko more than I have ever cared about any piece of jewelry. I will throw your ass in the river. Do you understand? I don't know if you can hear me right now. I will fucking kick your ass. I will not even hesitate.
The angry
I will
goblin
rip her-
yells the cloud.
I will rip her arm off and make it grow back before I let you do anything else to her. Keep that in mind. And I take it off and I hand it back to Emiko. Just wanted to set some ground rules.
Emiko's ears are back, and like her masked eyes were just like wide with surprise after like listening to that, and then she's gonna be like, "Okay, thanks." And she's gonna take the bracelet back and put it back on.
Yeah, and
Wait,
you
so the hands?
immediately feel the presence back in your mind. It's almost like comforting. It was almost weird not having it there.
Yeah, and Emiko like visually relaxes as her like ears like droop a little bit, but like not in a sad way. Just very relaxed.
Emiko's ears go in airplane mode.
So we have one urgent thing that we need to take care of, which is the hands. That I imagine is going to take us a little bit longer, as it is not something that I would know where to start with. The other thing we need to do is we need to address the criminal that Sir Elwood is chasing. That is a lead that will go cold, so that is something that also has become urgent now that we're here. We do have some other things, including speaking with Mama V about the dinosaur, Sugar, and also turning in the bounty for that dinosaur. We also have that contact that we need to speak with from, what was his name, Mr. Fleckhart, who gave us an introduction here. And then I also have some research and other things that I would like to work on while we are in the city. But those first two are the most important. So, Sir Elwood, you said that you wanted to go incognito and try and find this person. Did you have a plan for that?
I was trying to think of one, but I thought it'd be best to go over one with Lysel if they're going to be accompanying me. The visage that I present doesn't particularly matter so long as I'm not wearing the armor while doing it, so I figure it would be best to come up with something that Lysel would prefer so that they can keep to the story should the need arise.
Well, if your
If I
plan is
may,
to...
Sir Elwood, I feel that I would be much finer to accompany you than Lysel, as I, in observing you, have gained an inkling on how one can disguise oneself. Lysel, would you accept this?
It might have just been something that I misheard through the door, but weren't you doing something with Xander?
He hasn't asked me to do anything. Xander, did you ask me to do something?
Not yet. I had asked if
it's the perfect time. We're all here.
I'd asked if Johnny was capable of warding a room from outside eavesdropping, such that I can discuss the details that I discovered downstairs.
I can ward a conversation, not a room.
That's good enough.
I had offered
Would you prefer to discuss these details with me now?
And real quick, what were you saying, Lysel?
Is it pertinent?
Oh, I was just saying I'd offered my assistance to Jay as, obligation as a squire, if nothing else, and I can be quite stealthy.
The issue is that I need people that can talk to others. And I don't mean to,
Oh no, I get it. I understand.
I just don't think Johnny would be very well suited for the, social aspects.
Oh, well then take me with you.
I think Lysel is actually a perfect person to go with him.
Exactly. That was my thought as well. Lysel's not a noble. Lysel is... What are you exactly?
Just a reaper.
Great. Yes, perfect.
In fairness, I'm not a noble here.
Yes, but you're also very showy.
Do Reapers get access to disguise self?
I believe they do. I currently don't have that.
But do they have access to it?
Yes.
Cool. Okay.
Yes, they do have.
I
They do have
shall-
access to it. I just looked at their spell list.
Very well.
Exactly what
I shall prepare something for you tomorrow, Lysel, that may aid your quest with Sir Elwood.
Very well.
Now, because I think it would be easiest to keep in the back of your mind, I think for this purpose, to meet these ends, we should swap roles, so to speak. I won't necessarily be taking on the role of a squire, but there are several knights, especially ones that are middle to higher ranking that have their own secretaries, keep notes for them, keep info that they can't retain or hold on their person, things of that nature. Different from a squire in that they don't keep a backpack on them the entire time and that they aren't overworked to death.
Are we going to be doing anything combat related in the next hour or so?
Sure hope not.
If we are, something has gone wrong.
Speaking
Xander,
of,
Xander is going to lock eyes with Gelwood and say, "Fine, I can give you the information directly. I just need your permission."
How do you mean?
I just need you to let me in.
I don't know what that means. What does that mean?
I'm going to cast Phantasmal Force on Gelwood.
What the fuck is that? What does that do? What is that?
It allows me to cast an illusion directly into your mind that only you can perceive. So if it's something Jel would resist, if he doesn't trust Xander, then make an intelligence saving throw. If he does trust Xander, then I can go ahead with the description of what this illusion will be.
This isn't a half bad spell. If I'm willing, then I know that it's an illusion and the spell just ends, no? Or do I just know that it's an illusion?
That sounds like a question for the DM.
'Cause I don't think it says.
I've never tried to do this before, so frankly, I
Yeah,
don't even know.
it doesn't say what happens. Oh yeah, it does. It says the target realizes that the spell is an illusion, that the phantasm is an illusion, and the spell ends.
Well, you can... Well, because Xander didn't tell you what he was doing, right? He just said you have to let me in. So you can allow yourself to fail, but you would still have to make the intelligence check to the intelligence...
If you wanted to prematurely end the spell, you could make an intelligence check. Otherwise, I would argue, Xander didn't say the word illusion. He could just be putting information in your mind, for all you know.
That's why I said, like, if Xander said, oh yeah, I'm gonna cast an illusion spell on you, then yeah, it would just not work, because you're going into that knowing, but since Xander didn't tell you what he was doing, you don't know what he's doing to you, you just know that you can willingly fail. Is how I'm going to say that.
I understand that you might need a bit of vagueness when trying to attempt this, but I still don't like the idea of someone prodding around and, oh my god! And the spell just goes through. Because I don't... what's your spell save DC?
16.
No, I'm not making that.
Oh, sorry, 15. My apologies.
More doable, but still probably not happening.
So, yeah, basically, my intent here is, everything else in the room, like, becomes blurry and dark. Jay, you find yourself standing in front of the bar with a crowd of faceless people. The only two people you can recognize are Xander and the barkeep. And basically, Chas, I'm replaying the conversation that I had with the barkeep. Specifically, the part of the conversation that had to do with Gelwood's target.
Oh, I see. This is very useful. It all looks so real.
It all looks so real.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you get the same information.
Which, if I'm recounting it, is that we know that she killed a noble family in Pelor and started making her way towards someplace west of Pelor.
Yeah, it wasn't a noble family. That is a very important note. It was like a lower middle class family where one of them just got accidentally tied into her business, so she killed all of them.
And if you'll permit it, Chas, I think the final part of this illusion, like the last 30 seconds, is the conversation between Xander and Johnny, where Xander discusses the plan of Johnny using comprehend languages to basically let us, tap into underworld networks for an information broker that might be able to tell us where the fuck this person is, or at least if they've had any connections with said underworld.
Yeah.
And that was what that conversation was. I knew I misheard something.
And Xander will place a hand on Jelwood's shoulder and say, "There, now you're caught up."
So you would be willing to go through all that trouble for not something that the group was pursuing, but something that I am pursuing?
Oh yes, without hesitation. I mean, what the hell are we a group for if not to help each other out?
You do bring up a good point, but I thought that the conversation you two were having was something else entirely. I suppose that's what I get for stewing in my own drink.
And eavesdropping.
I
What nights are supposed to be better than that?
Oh no, that wasn't an on-purpose thing. I just happened to hear. I quickly try to shut most of that out.
But I saw there's this look, and you kind of get the impression that they're kind of fucking with you.
Ah, you jest. I see.
Yes, I see.
All right. So, sounds like tomorrow, I assume. What time of day is it?
It's like 12 p.m., not even noon.
No, fuck. All right. Well, today then.
Yeah, because, again,
We will.
Teosia goes on a 28-hour clock, so it's not, noon until it's, like...
Sure.
14. Yeah.
Okay. So, in that case, we will be down a Lysel and Sir Elwood, while the rest of us pursue other goals. I think that we should wait on Mama V and turning in the Allosaurus, because I would like to have everyone there to back me up when I do confront Mama V. And I think that turning in the bounty may tip her off beforehand. So, for now, let's sit tight on that one. I guess we just need to get out there and find out. Did we know that there was like anyone in Sky? I may have missed this. Did we know that there's someone in SkyMount that can help Emiko?
No.
You know that there's a
do
monastery
not.
nearby. Because it was on, like, one of the...
Yeah.
Actually, would you have mentioned that as part of your conversation with the barkeep, that he told you about, like, a monastery where, like, one of their monks, like, just dipped?
I mean, I didn't, so I'm gonna say that Xander didn't think of it, because I didn't think of it.
Okay, I was just curious.
If only there was like a monastery or something nearby that could help us.
Well, there is a monastery nearby. I don't know if it'll be any help. One of their monks recently just kind of up and walked away.
Why don't the three of you check out that monastery and see if they have any information? Chas, is there a library in town?
Go ahead and make me a investigation check. There's like information in the tavern, so it's not gonna be a thing where you have to go out into the city and look.
She walks 30 minutes out to the tree, see if she can find a leaflet on a library.
Actually, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that it's a 16.
Yeah, actually in the, since you guys are preparing to, like, go out and do stuff anyway, in the, little, like, general store that's attached to the Yawning Dragon, there's actually, like, a little, information thing, that's, like, more up-to-date, because Erithil had a book as well, but it's just not up-to-date, on a few things. But you, like, kind of cross-reference them both, and maybe about, like, an hour's, little walk from where you are, there is a library.
Great. Erithil and I will go to the library and see what we can learn. The three of you can go to the monastery and see what you can learn. And then Sir Elwood and Lysel can figure out what they can find out.
I must ask, Lysel, Jay, that you delay your quest merely by a night, for it will take me all night to prepare a spell scroll, one that will grant Lysel unsurpassed inconspicuousness. May you then accompany us, just for the day.
Well, I don't doubt that your prowess would be enough to get us through whatever it is we're trying to do, or whatever it is we're going to be doing, but I do have to specify something. My target has no idea who Lysel is. They're practically already in disguise.
I will say, in Mr. Phage's favor, though, you really only have to see Lysel once.
Most people only get to.
You have spoken extensively of the wickedness of this evil, and for the sake of security, it would be best if your search is entirely unassociated with our people, such that, should it come to a confrontation, we have an information advantage.
Fine then, why don't I go with Sir Elwood, and instead of being around and walking, you can just wear me on your finger.
Sir Elwood, this truly is the finest solution. If you wish to have Lysel accompany you.
I wish
I could always
We
accompany
waited a
you.
day to pursue Vivian.
I think
Surely we
should,
can wait a day
I
to
think
pursue
Lysel
this
and I
evil.
should come up with what our story is going to be before we start trying to come up with alternatives, because we still haven't quite gotten across whether or not Lysel is going to need to bust out their acting chops. In fact, do you have acting chops? Again, I was kind of trying to use your whole shadowy mystique thing to our advantage here.
I do not have many social skills to speak of.
If I'm acting as your retainer, then you wouldn't need to flex those. I just don't want you asking unnecessary questions like Johnny would in the event that someone gets suspicious because you're talking to them as if they're the most disgusting and repulsive thing they've ever seen.
Ouch.
Ouch.
You've done it more than once. We've all seen it.
Ouch.
Okay, well, I was going to give you this lovely dagger that has a great radiance to it, but, I guess I'll have to find somebody else.
I wasn't planning on taking that.
Shit.
You're gonna want it.
I thought you were going to give it.
You would really want this dagger. Trust
I
me.
have three different backup weapons.
Not for its dagger properties, but for its vision properties, as I know you are severely lacking in eyes.
I have two. What do you mean?
Severely lacking in eyes that can see in the dark.
I mean, my eyes work just fine.
All four of them.
You wouldn't
That's
rather
true.
have someone that would actually use the dagger carry it? That seems like a waste, no?
Why don't we talk
Is
about
there anybody
what we're
else in the
actually
party
gonna
that
do?
doesn't have dark vision? No. Hey, we're having a conversation here. This is important.
I
Is
think
there anybody else in the
is.
party that doesn't have dark vision?
I'm
I
pretty
think
sure I'm
Jay is the only one without dark vision.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
So you are the best carrier of the dagger. But no. I see that we are not of a certain standing where I could give you this dagger.
I do want you to know real quick, I do have blind sight out to 10 feet, so I really don't need that dagger.
That is true.
You still need the dagger for the dark vision out to 120 feet. So
I thought it was just 20.
No, it was 120.
Oh,
It's 120. You're gonna want this dagger. Or you would, but I don't know. Maybe if you took back the mean thing you said about me, I could.
Have you taken back any of the mean things that you've said about any of us?
Oh What mean things have I said about any of my dearest and only friends?
Dearest and
Vivian, examples, Vivian.
Well, I'm with Mr. Phage on this one.
None.
How are you with Mr. Phage on this one?
Mr. Phage has not said anything mean to me. He said things
group,
stupid to me.
Must.
He said things
Okay, I will accept that. All for the purposes of learning. Now, I feel
And have you learned anything?
You're shifting the goalposts. I just learned what that means today, and I know you're doing it.
Oh, so you learn things when it's to your benefit, I see.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't? J. Elwood. I learn all, and I know that it is in the best interest of this party that you take back that mean thing you said about me. It was an error, and I will accept that it was an error. But I'd like for you to take it back.
I can make an amendment, but I will not take back the fact that I said that you are not the best with people.
I will accept your amendment, please.
Well, there's your amendment.
Viv gives
Would
Johnny
you
a
call
thumbs up.
me Mr. Johnny from now on?
Not Mr. O'Phage?
I was clear.
That's not why... Yes, I can do that. It seems less
All right,
formal.
then all is well, and you may have this fine dagger.
I still don't
Yeah.
want... Fine.
You need the dagger. You need to have the dagger. Do you realize? Okay, never mind. You need to. This will fix your eyes to make them normal like the rest of us.
No, your eyes are better than normal. There's a big difference. But
Hey, listen, I may be 20 days old, but in these 20 days, I've seen more people that can see in the dark than can't.
It's a great point. It's a great point. That's one for Mr. Phage.
The coast only wanted to have two different types of vision. They used to have so many. I miss infravision. Give us back predator sight.
Anyway,
What's
now that this wonderful diversion is over,
Additionally, please, Vivian, I feel that this lovely wand of nightmares is most befitting of your abilities. It shall cause your wisdom to bloom. As
sure,
such,
get here.
I feel
I'll take
you are
it.
the finest user of this magical fetish. He hands it to you.
Wait, why'd you call it that?
That's something you can call a magical item, a
Yeah.
magical fetish.
I know that. I just don't like it. She takes it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all
I
right.
know that, I just don't like it.
I don't think I see the problem with it either. I mean, that's what it is, isn't it?
Maybe I read too much smut.
So what? At this point, has sat on the floor.
What is smut?
Oh no!
What is smut?
What have
What
you
is-
done?
No, we are not.
Vivian, what is
What?
the smut you speak of?
You are 20
I'll-
days old. Live at least 1,500 more and we'll tell you what smut is.
I'll pick you up a book when I come back from the library.
Don't you
So-
dare.
Oh, very well.
I'm sorry, is there a cutoff for when you're allowed to murder? Is that 1,495 days sooner than when you're allowed to read smut?
You are allowed to murder if it means safeguarding your own life, which we have only done so far. I don't think we've ever attacked anyone because we thought that they were a good person.
No,
I'm
but we've
giving-
definitely attacked people who didn't aggress against us first.
Regardless. So, what is the plan?
Prime example being the bandits.
Delightful. Are you two going out today? If so, then it's just something we have to keep in mind later that Lysel could be compromised later. If you do want to wait, it'll be safer. However, it does mean that the trail will be one day colder. Up to you.
And as I said, Sir Elwood, if you want to go today, then you can take me with you, and I'll be in a ring the whole time, so nobody will even know.
I mean, all three of you could go. I could just go with Emiko to investigate the other matter.
But then wouldn't that sort of take the whole point of why you wanted myself to wait before going with Sir Elwood in the first place?
Yeah, I don't think Xander
Sure,
can
but
disguise
if
himself.
you're going to go anyway, if you want to, so if you want to wait a day, then it'd be far better to do so, and I can also allow Lysel to cloak herself, as a J can. If you'd prefer to go now, then all three of you could go together, as the benefit of sight will be long lost.
Part of the disguise is being able to act as what you are disguised as. If Lysel, no offense intended, of course, does
If
not have the
Lysel is
ability
merely
to
a woman
act,
that does not look like Lysel, then what preconception, what act must she put on? She needs none.
They need none, but yes.
so then what would we say should someone ask who we are? We can't just tell
Why
them
is
the
it
truth.
your business who we are?
Why don't we just take this first day in the city?
Why don't you
It's
put
just-
up healthy boundaries? Healthy boundaries, which I also learned of.
Yes,
You need
you're
not
doing
tell
very well.
someone who you are merely because they ask.
Sir
Why
Howard, do you
don't
have a
we-
plan? I'm sorry, please, Lady Emiko.
Why don't we take the day to plan, rest for a night, and then set out tomorrow? That will give us enough time to come up with your identities. She looks to Lysel and Jelwood. And then we can also, Johnny can make what he was planning to help Lysel cloak. And you can go to the library, and then Xander and Emiko can go shopping.
Well, I'm always down for shopping. What are we shopping for?
I saw some really cute jewelry when we walked in, and also there's a lot of food outside.
You had me at jewelry.
Emiko's really banking on that street food.
Yeah.
I should let you all know that the target in question is of the vampiric persuasion, which means that a day that we are not tracking is a day that she is getting far, far ahead of us. Without the need to sleep and
Would
only
you-
blood being her sustenance, it would be incredibly easy for her to outpace us.
How many hours will we need before they'll have to sleep? You know what? No. Well, Jay, should you wish, I shall utilize the night to search for this vampire you speak of, as I am sleepless and always slept.
That's true. Also, Johnny has the benefit of being completely anonymous and, frankly, looks homeless, so I don't think anybody would think twice if they saw him in the streets.
Allow me to propose this, Sir Elwood.
Yes.
I shall spend the remainder of this day preparing a fine roll, such that Lysel may easily disguise herself. Then, when night falls, I shall go out and find a lead for you to hasten your search tomorrow. No time lost, no cards given away. Is this amenable?
Yes. 'Twould be amenable if well, I suppose we won't be able to know until we find out what lead you've proclaimed for us, so yes, I can agree to this. Once we find the lead, that would be a much better time to plan anyways.
Indeed, you can further refine your disguises, identities, and so on. However, I must ask, and he turns to the party, what is a vampire?
I'll bring you another book.
For, instead of eating people's dreams or minds or whatever it is you do, they drink their blood.
Oh, what horrible creatures these vampires are. Yes, they must be consumed post-haste.
Not only this, but we also must remember that they are one of the undead as well, and as such they have no need for other mortal things, such as sleep and air, nor do they need shelter, unless it is from the sun. But even then, some of the more powerful ones have found a way around that as well. The only time that I know of that they sleep is when they've used up the reserves of their power. But I don't know what the consistency of that is either, because I've never been able to actually fight one myself. It's on the list, don't get me wrong, but not done yet.
I should wish to join you when this foe falls. I would assume it would also be... Oh, I lost my train of thought. Xander, do you have my train of thought?
Yes, I would assume the amount of time that they have before they need to rest is also directly proportionate to the power level as well.
That would make sense.
Very well, then, turns to Vivian. Today we shall prepare our armaments. I, too, must shop for the parchment and inks necessary to prepare a tool of concealment. Tomorrow.
Would we also need to procure some other styles of armor, perhaps? Something to protect ourselves with just in case the disguise spell that you're preparing does not allow for illusions of the clothing?
The spell would allow for illusions of the clothing, but unless you wish to wait 2 days, I'm not sure if you may need to change your own clothing.
I do have an extra set of clothes in case I ever need to go incognito, but I don't have a suit of armor that would transmog with me, so if you have something of that variety, then I would appreciate it.
Nay, but he pulls off. Johnny pulls off his own cloak. Will this suffice?
I mean, don't we still have all of that armor?
No.
We
Whatever we had before. Whatever we had before has been sold.
We can use the money spent to buy something else, maybe even something better if the time or circumstance allows.
Very well. Merely inform me if you wish to take this cloak. Hey, does anybody need more movement speed? Because Johnny really doesn't. He doesn't really move around. Does anybody want the Cloak of the Winds?
I need movement speed to keep up with Emiko. For fucking.
I can kind of forego movement speed because I've got access to spells that give me movement and also reach.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Okay. Once again, Jay is best user.
Yeah.
So I now have Akios' heart and the cloak of, what is it, Elvenkind?
Cloak of the Winds adds 10 to your movement speed, requires attunement.
Does the dagger require attunement?
No.
Shit, yes. That means I can still have my cloak of billowing in reserve.
Okay. So we're going to be doing a couple things to prepare today. Mr. Phage needs to do some shopping, and then he's going to make a scroll. Lysel and Jay, or Elwood, excuse me, are also going to be doing some shopping, and then they are going to be spending the rest of the day preparing their rolls for tomorrow when they go out. So that way, Lysel is a little bit more in tune with the acting that they will be doing. Sounds like Emiko and Xander are going to be going out to shop for a bit, and then I insist that they will then be going to the monastery to look into Emiko's hands. And myself and, because don't act like you weren't trying to weasel out of that today. And then myself and Arithel will go to the library to research more about the hands and pick up some smut for Johnny.
Don't get smut for the 20-year-old baby. Or 20-day-old, rather.
20-year-old baby.
20-year-old baby, that's some Benjamin Button shit. That would scare me equally, but...
Anyone that says
to cut it down,
you should
just make it vampire smut.
Wherefore?
Sure, yeah. That's so easy to find. So yeah.
Vampire smut is everywhere.
based.
Copy of my immortal.
No.
based.
Yeah, the hard part is going to be finding straight vampire smut and almost non-existent.
True.
I mean, you can teach him about homosexuality too.
It's true. This could be a 3-fer.
Well, I was gonna say I have to scroll past so much straight vampire smut to get to the gay ones.
Yeah, but
like a
that's in
skill
our
issue.
world.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Great. So
Then I just
Everyone
hit the tag,
has-
and then it's like, oh, okay.
wonderful. Everyone has their plan. We all know what we're doing. We're going to gather up our stuff. Let's go out, buy some stuff, and then break off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mr.
so-
Phage, do you need more money for paper?
I'm so poor. Yeah, I have very little money because I've been scribing so many scrolls.
Take 200.
Oh.
Thank you, miss.
Can't
Anytime.
believe
Does anybody
Johnny
else-
has an allowance.
Trust.
Does anybody else need money, or is anyone else not able to buy what they need?
I have 338 gold, which
How'd you get so much gold? I only have
I've been-
100.
You
I've
should
been
definitely
paying
have more than
attention
that.
to Vivian's end of session gold notes.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yes,
much does everyone
you,
have?
you should have a lot more than that.
so defeated. Oh no!
We
I
have-
have
339.
3 gold and 5
Yeah.
silver.
So we
So-
had like 200 some odd from when I sold all the stuff to Kin Yo-Yo, and then we got another 100 today. I was sitting at 324 after that.
Here, Emiko, just put yourself at like a crisp, like 300, and you should be caught up.
Okay.
Like, that sounds like a fair number, because you also haven't... The most you spent is like 75 gold on a, like on your weapon,
Yeah.
because you already had the materials, so you didn't need to purchase the materials.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, going forward, do we just want to switch to Party Gold Fund?
Wow, look who came crawling back to the Party Gold Fund.
I feel like it'd be way easier.
Oh
'Cause
my
I've also
goodness,
had, like-
look at this.
I've also had to do some like big tracking to verify that my gold is right. About going forward, all of our money is put into a collective fund.
What a
Deal?
thought. Who would have thought
Yeah.
of that? Incredible. Hey, Groove, thanks
Going
for
once,
thinking of that.
twice,
Good job.
one minute. Hey, well, you know what else, Manal? Because
I'm so glad
I
you-
feel like you're a big proponent of it, I'm gonna
Yeah.
make you our little accountant bitch.
I think that's a great
You track
idea.
all of our gold, as you are.
I think that is a great idea. Yeah, I wish that I had thought of that like 9 sessions ago.
Yeah, you can count all of our little coins.
I will.
Because
Hey,
I know that you like that.
Having
hey,
a party
Groove, do you want to
fund,
give me
so-
back that 200 GP real quick?
No, I'm keeping the 200.
All right, in that case, would you like to say something? in
It's after.
response?
It's now. Now we're doing it.
Oh, okay. Great.
Yeah, all of our gold going forward goes into the party fund.
I set Johnny on fire.
All right, so it's not all it's going in right now. It's going.
No, you're fine. Whatever you have right now is what you have right
Yeah.
now.
Okay.
So,
I'm gonna.
We
I
have a
have-
party gold fund with 0 gold in it.
Having
I have a
party fund is
hilarious
so
amount of money,
JRPG
so I'm gonna
of us.
put 200 in the party fund.
Great. We have 200, 3
goes-
silver, 8 copper.
It's like, it goes into that little chest that y'all got from the Aether Spine.
Great.
Like, that's the
Perfect.
party piggy bank.
We're about to sell that chest.
Oh, rip. So, okay, real quick, just so that I can know where to start. Who is going where?
Hey, does Emiko's hourglass go off?
It did.
Yeah.
It did. It
Oh,
actually,
no.
it actually did as y'all were getting ready to leave the tavern, and Emiko's, like, the red lines on Emiko's mask glowed for a second, and then, like, Emiko for like 0.2 seconds, like, spoke like way louder than normal, and then went back to normal.
Like she peaked her mic.
Yeah, kinda.
What did Emiko say really loud? Make you go.
I think she would have just sneezed really loud.
She sneezes and the dust on the walls comes off.
Sneeze with reverb, bro.
Achoo!
A bird somewhere dies.
Just fucking pops like in Shrek.
Emiko sneezes and everyone in the tavern goes, ah! And they, like, all look around.
Is that
And then-
like...
And then, like, someone from, like, the way back to the bar, bless you!
Can we say we spent a total of an hour in the tavern?
Yeah.
But
So Johnny's gonna go look for parchment and ink. Xander and Vivian are going to the library.
No. Arathil and I are.
Arathil and Vivian are going to the library. So where's Xander going?
I'm going shopping, motherfucker. And then we're going to the monastery.
Get in, losers.
Alright.
We're going shopping.
Vivian asks you to find a good blacksmith before she leaves.
I'm
For
like,
what?
yeah, absolutely. Hey, Johnny, can you do me a favor while you're out getting spell scroll materials and find a good blacksmith?
We'll never know.
You're muted, my
and
friend.
then Xander and Emiko are gonna fuck off.
Johnny's gonna go find a good blacksmith.
DM,
Alright.
I have a special request.
What's the special request?
Xander wants to find a pair of brass knuckles that cast light on your target when you hit them with the brass knuckles.
Make me an investigation check.
Can I make it a charisma-based investigation check?
I could make an argument for persuasion.
You're a fucking G.
And while he's doing that, Emiko's gonna keep an eye out for anything that comes from Ulitsune.
27.
Alright. Emiko, make a perception check while I'm doing this. So basically, you don't, you look around and there doesn't seem to be any, like, brass knuckles that, like, does that, like, specifically. You do, find, you actually, like, you do find that there is someone in town who can do that for you. I say in town, this is a fucking big-ass city. You do find out that there is someone in the city to where, you know, if you provide them the materials, they can very easily make and enchant it.
Great. What materials would they need?
You would need to, you know, if you wanted to make it as cost-friendly as possible, all you would need is a spell scroll of light and the brass knuckles.
Okay. I'm gonna go looking for those.
Do they need a spell scroll if they can just cast the spell?
Oh, they would, because the person, like, enchanting the weapon can't cast the spell.
I can't cast
Oh.
light anyway, so.
Oh, fair enough. On both accounts.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna get those materials. How much?
Yeah, a spell scroll of light, since it's a cantrip, would be like, I think, we'll say 30 gold pieces, and then brass
Done.
knuckles would be like 5 gold.
Can I make it 10 gold and get them gold plated?
Sure.
Okay. Alright, and then I'm gonna bring them back to the blacksmith. How much?
To get it, enchanted, since you have the 2 things already, it would just run you another 30 gold. It's a smaller weapon, you have the materials, they don't have to come.
How long is it gonna take?
You'll be able to pick it up the next morning.
Bet. And very crucially, I'm gonna do this in such a way where Emiko is thoroughly distracted and has no idea what I'm doing the entire time.
Well, what did you get on that perception check, Emiko?
23.
Yeah, you actually find, like, and you say you were looking for anything that, like, reminds you of Ulitsune or is from Ulitsune?
Yeah, like any of the street food, jewelry, clothing, anything, stuff like that. Stuff like that.
Yeah, you actually find, let me, like, look up this word, because I don't know if I... Okay. Have you ever seen those, like, fish-shaped pastries that people put, like, ice cream and shit in?
Yeah.
Taiyaki? You find a street vendor selling that with, like, pistachio ice cream in them.
Mm-hmm.
And it wrote, like, that is something that you see in your home all the time.
Yeah. Does he selling, like, packs?
Yeah, you can, like, the ones with the ice cream in it is just like a street food thing, but you can just buy the pastries by themselves that are, instead filled with red bean paste instead.
Yeah, I was gonna buy, like, a pack of those, like, a lot of them.
Yeah, that'll run you 5 silver.
You can make your
For
own
how many?
taiyaki at home.
5 silver, and they come in a box of 6, because the pastries are kind of large.
Okay, so I'm gonna give a gold for 12 of them.
Yeah, and then you
I have
also see a woman who is selling necklaces that are of like a like the stylistic make of something that would be sold in Ulitsune.
Does she have any, like, silver pieces?
Like necklaces that are made out of like a silver material.
Yeah.
Yeah. She has one where it's these like little like silver coins, not like the currency coin, but they're like kind of ellipse-shaped silver coins that they're held together by a red like knotted string, like it's like multiple strings that ever so often she ties it in a knot, and so the coins are like spaced out by these like red knots, so it's kind of like a red string multi-layered necklace with a bunch of like pretty silver like adornments and coins.
Okay, I think Emika's gonna pick that one up and look to the shopkeep and ask if, is this the only one of its piece, or do you have multiple of these?
And she's like literally holding one that she's currently making in her hands. And she like looks at the one she's holding and says, I have 2, technically.
Can I commission you for 4 more?
She like you see her like, you know, like when old people like smack their lips when they're like kind of like her, like she's like smacking her lips and her jaw is like quivering, and she's just kind of like, sure. That would be 2 silver per necklace.
Okay. Gonna give her a gold for each of them, so I'm gonna hand her what the hell? I'm gonna hand her 10 gold.
She like looks at you like, and she goes, oh dear, I'm afraid I don't have change for this much.
Oh, I don't want change.
She like looks up at you and like she says, Guinevere, bless you, sweet girl. I can have those done by the end of lunch. So like 3 hours.
Oh, thank you very much. And Emika's gonna bow. I'll be back after. Thank you.
Well, and she like puts like a little sign that says that she's like closed for the day, and she like goes to the back of her like little because really she has like a repurposed vegetable cart, and then like a basket, like a few baskets that are like old as hell filled with her materials, and she just very excitedly goes and starts making your necklaces as you're walking away. Other than that, you don't find much stuff pertaining to specifically Ulitsune. You find some people selling things that are like of the Frumal country Itsumo, but which kind of similar, but not, not Ulitsune itself.
Mm-hmm.
And just because I will get back to Xander and Emiko in a second, because the thing they're doing is probably going to take the longest. I am going to go over to Lysel and Jay. What are you two doing?
That is a good question.
Are you two going with one of the other groups that formed, or doing something to prepare for your next day plans?
I feel like regardless of what we do, I would want to find an enchanter of some sort. Lysel, did you have any ideas for what to do pre all of the party shit?
No.
Then at dawn we plan. I am definitely going to see if I can find an enchanter.
Alright. Go ahead and make me a if you're just looking for it without talking to anybody, investigation. If you're gonna like ask around, make me a persuasion check.
I'm gonna ask around because I can't look for shit. 25.
Yeah, you start walking around asking if there's any people that like do any sort of enchantments. You are pointed in one direction. They say it's a little costly, but you know, it depends on how potent or powerful the enchantment is.
Alright, excellent.
Yeah, coincidentally, like, if you go in that direction, you see Xander leaving there, like, after paying somebody. Maybe y'all wave at each other.
Oh, fancy seeing you here.
Indeed. Keep going.
Hey, wait, real quick. Because you and I can trust each other,
Yes.
does this person do enchanting deals under the table at all?
Xander blinks twice.
I just want to make sure that nothing that I do is going to
I
get
imagine it
tracked
would
back.
be very hard to enchant something under a table.
I meant in the figurative sense.
Like,
You know, like
manufactured?
customer merchant confidentiality, that sort of thing.
Don't know. I hadn't asked.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained, and he's gonna walk inside of the store, or inside of the workshop rather.
Yeah, it's mostly outside because, you know, forge stuff and whatnot. And then they have this, like, bench with a bunch of, like, sigils and clamps where they can put, like, scrolls and stuff like that. And you actually see this, like, Wind Duresi who has, like, it looks like a bunch of, like, miniature tornadoes that are all braided with each other to keep a braid that goes down his back, and, like, the bands hold them all together, so it just looks like wind. And he's covered in, like, what look like tattoos, but they all, like, glow. And currently he's, like, working on shaping a dagger. And he looks up like, "Ah, another customer. Can I help you?"
Yes, I hope you can. I need to know, the work that I'm going to ask to get done is meant to be a surprise, a secret of sorts. Is that possible? Can I get, like, a gift tag, if you want to call it that?
Oh, sure. I usually don't just tell other people, the specifics of my orders anyway. What are you looking for?
Excellent. You see this armor that I'm wearing? Nice, bright, shiny, vibrant, glows with the glory of 1,000 suns.
Yes.
I needed to do that only sometimes. Would like to know if you could get me if you would be able to enchant this in such a way that I can change its physical form without the need of any spells, if you understand what I'm saying.
Oh,
I still want it to protect me as normal armor would, but to allow it to look as if I were wearing, I don't know, a nice suit, a tuxedo, maybe a dress if I'm feeling weird one of these days.
He, like, blinks twice and says, "So you want to make your armor able to change form?"
Precisely.
Okay. That shouldn't be too bad. I can do that for 150 gold pieces.
Done and sold. easiest transaction of my entire life, sir. You have made me a very happy, man thing.
Man thing? Oh, you know what? It's none of my business. Since you're wearing your armor currently, I actually have a changing room back there if you had extra clothes to get into.
That was going to be my next question. Thank you, good sir.
Yes, I'd prefer you not change in front of me and also where my forge faces the open street. I have one right back there.
Excellent.
He's gonna go into the back room. Yeah, we're gonna pull out the disguise kit. How many outfits does this come installed with? The disguise kit, because I imagine it comes with costumes, right?
You know what? For fun, 2.
2? Okay, then I'm gonna
One of them's more fancy, and then the other one looks like shit.
Yeah, we're gonna pull out the shitty one. We're gonna pull out the what is it? We're gonna pull out the Cabbage Man outfit.
Cabbage Man outfit. Okay, so you use the shitty one.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially because of how you got it. Yeah. But, yeah, you leave him with your armor, and he says, I can have this done by bright and early tomorrow morning.
And just to make sure that, I don't know how well changelings are received in this place, I'm gonna come out with, I'm just gonna be looking like a, I guess he's a Duresi, right?
Yeah.
I'll come out looking like an Earth Duresi with ruby eyes, just to keep the color coding the same.
He comes out looking like Xander.
Like red Xander.
No, still brown, just red eyes.
God, that'd be so.
Or not brown, sorry, gray.
Yeah.
Like Xander
like
looks like
Mark.
Crystal. Xander looks like Crystal. I look like a boulder.
Yeah, which is still normal to this man, so he just goes, alright, thank you so much, and he, puts your payment in, his lockbox, puts it somewhere, and, he says, yeah, I'll have this ready for you bright and early tomorrow.
Excellent. And if you don't mind, I'm gonna lean up real close to him, and I'm gonna say, I might have the recipient come receive it in the morning, if that's no issue to you. I'll just let her know where your shop is. She should look similar to me, but with striking silver hair.
Okay, yeah, he, takes out, a piece of parchment and writes it down and says, thank you, I will keep that in mind that you are not going to be picking up the armor.
Excellent. And when I say striking, I do mean striking, by the way. It should look as if her hair is actual solid silver that is flowing rather than just dyed or painted on.
Good to know. I understand.
Right. Thank you. I'm sure she'll be very happy.
He nods in, also a Duresi, and knows what you mean by another Earth Duresi having literal silver hair.
Yeah. Because now that I'm thinking about it, that is kind of how my other 2 faces look, is both of them are just equally rocky looking people, but with more physical features. But that was the only thing I wanted to do. I got my shit.
Yeah, and Lysel, is there anything you wanted to take care of, or were you wanting to go with maybe one of the other sets of people?
Johnny will actually invite Lysel out.
For doing what?
Shopping.
Shopping.
Oh, sure.
I'll say, Lysel, I'm going to exchange this box for a cheaper one at Vivian's request. Pursue a blacksmith and search for the inks and parchments to make that scroll. Would you accompany me on this quest?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Be nice to get out and see the city.
All right, Johnny.
Indeed.
Make me an investigation check.
Okay. Sleepwalking. Oh, hey. Can do this somewhere else now. BDV. 17.
Yeah, so you start walking around, and you do see the, kind of, like, arcanist blacksmith, but, like, you kind of find out that he's better at, like, working with weapons that are already made, rather than weapons that, like, he makes himself. He can, but, you know, it's not his, he's better at, like, the enchanting part of it, but he can do both. So you're like, oh, maybe that's not, you know, quite. You do find, it's a little farther away, like, a little, you kind of find, like, this, smaller end of the, like, Hurricane District where, like, there's not as many shops because it's, like, between the actual marketplace and, like, some residential. And then that, and then this, like, little area, kind of like a, you know, I don't want to say secret because it's still part of the city, but you find that there's a blacksmith that, like, he has a line almost out, like, that almost goes, like, partway down the street. Of people, like, making requests. Like, several of them are knights. It looks like he's just receiving, like, a large order. But, like, upon, like, looking at them, like, these are, like, Knights of Paylor Knights.
Got it. Yeah, Johnny will redeem a sending coin and send the location of the popular blacksmith to Vivian.
Yeah, and then
Thanks.
finding a general store is easy. There's a general store across the street from the, like, arcanist that you saw, where you can find some good, like, a good bundle of parchment and ink for, like, if you want, like, really good quality stuff, like 50 gold pieces. If you just want bare bones stuff, you can probably get out there spending, like, 2 gold.
Well, are we using the Xanathar's spell scroll rules?
Remind me what those are, and I'll tell you yes or no.
So, for the Xanathar's rules, which I pulled up, for a first level scroll, I'll need 25 GP worth of inks and parchment.
Yeah, that's fine, just for the sake of simplicity.
Okay. I mean, if you want to let me do it for 2 GP, I won't say no. I'm not sure if we're using Xanathar's rules or something else.
No, that'll be fine. If that's, like, a more standard thing. I was just thinking of the supplies by itself, like, just bare bones silly shit. But if there's, like, an actual proper ruling, we'll go with that.
Got it, yeah, 25 GP worth of inks and whatnot to make that scroll. And then, how much can we sell this box for? Fancy box?
For the general store, they'd be willing to take it off of you for, like, 75 GP. They say it's, like, kind of old, but, like, in pretty good condition and made out of, like, materials that are very, very well maintained.
Sending coin to Xander. Is 75 gold a good price for that box we got?
DM?
Xander would think so. Especially, like, with the parameters that the box, like, the person saying that the box was, like, a little older and stuff like that, but the materials are still, like, the more valuable parts of it, like the gold or anything on that is in pretty good shape, but that's a pretty good assessment.
Xander replies, yes.
Yeah, Johnny will sell the box for 75 gold. Minnow, please put that in the party gold fund, 75. Then, are there any, like, stark black cloaks in here? One large enough to conceal Johnny?
Yeah, there
I want a
are.
hooded cloak.
Yeah, they're like traveler's cloaks that are like your size.
How much for one?
Like a singular gold piece.
Sure. Yeah. He'll get a nice traveler's cloak that he too may conceal himself. Then he's going to head over to the. He's actually going to the Arcanist.
Yeah, once again, it's the same man. Like, you walk up as Jay is leaving. Well, you don't know it's Jay. Because I don't think he's used that disguise in front of you before. So you see an Earthressy leaving.
Great. Yeah, I don't know him. Yeah. What do you get, Sen?
Would I not have used? I guess not.
No, not yet.
Yeah, he's going to go to the man. He's going to pull out the lovely dream catcher, which Xander made for him, and he has bound with many different materials. I'm going to say, "Hello, sir. I have seen in many magical fetishes that they radiate great evil. In an attempt to make this item or give this item magical capabilities, I have thoroughly suffused it with the pieces of evil creatures, yet it has not manifested any hidden potential. Might you know how I can expand the capability of this item to serve me in my quest?"
He looks up at you, and by the way, his shop name says that his name is puts down
Randall.
phone. No, puts down phone and immediately fucking forgets the name that I had written down for him. That ADHD really be hitting sometimes.
It's not ADHD, it's Alzheimer's. Sorry.
No, his name is Saphir, and I'll put that in the.
I was close.
True. Could his name be Randall instead?
No. But he says, "So what kind of effect are you looking for exactly? You want to be able to draw strength from it? Do you want it to do something? Do you want it to be imbued with a specific spell, or do you want it to make your spells stronger?"
I wish for it to grow in power as it is threaded with the remains of evil.
He kind of looks at you, and I'm gonna make a roll real quick. Well, I got a natural 20 on a d20, so that's really cool. He looks at you and says, and kind of looks to see if there are no other customers, and he goes, "I think I can help you. Give me 1 second." And he stands up, and he goes into the shop, because he has a set of double doors, and they're wide open, so you can see his Arcanist table and stuff like that. And he goes up to it, and he grabs something from underneath it, and he pulls it out and dusts it off, and it looks like a clear crystal that you can almost completely see through, but the other side is just blurry, and that's really it. And he walks up to Johnny, and he says, "I want you to, just as much energy as you can muster, concentrate it into this crystal. The strongest, I guess you look the adventurer type, harmful thing you can do. I promise you it will not hurt me or anything like that. Just concentrate that energy into this rock while I'm holding it."
Johnny nods. He's going to hold the rock, and he's going to do as he asked.
Yeah. And as you do so, Groove, what do you think would be a color that represents Johnny?
Black, like his soul.
Okay, Edgelord. When
So white.
Johnny focuses his magic into the rock, the rock looks like it fills with ink, like dropping ink into water, and then it expands out, and then basically the rock after this looks like a polished piece of onyx. And he says, "Great." And he will take the rock, and he says, "In order to make an item that is able to grow with you and such as you request, I need a little bit of your magic." That's often how those types of items are created, is that the person who enchants them, usually for themselves, puts a part of their self in it. Sometimes people go to the extremes and use, like, soul magic, but that is frowned upon, and quite frankly, I would go to prison. So I will not be doing that, but this will work in making an item that grows with you, so to speak.
More specifically, I wish that as the remains, the trophies of the evil vanquishing are sewn to this dream catcher, that it should become stronger in turn. Is that what this will do?
Yes, precisely. But when in doing so, it'll match your wavelength, as it were, unless this item is not intended to be used by you.
It is. That is acceptable, then.
Excellent.
And,
Oh, go ahead.
when will you have this prepared by, that I may suffuse it with the lovely green catcher that my dearest friend made for me?
I will be able to have what you need completed by my earliest convenience in the morning. I do have a 2-item queue ahead of you, so it should be ready by 10 a.m.
Wonder what pathetic creatures would get their items enchanted so that I couldn't. How sinful, how horrible. Very well.
His, like, pointed ears droop for a second, and he goes, yeah, the total cost of this will be around 120 gold pieces.
I understand. I shall have it prepared. Okay.
Damn good.
And Johnny leaves with Lysel.
Yes.
We're done. We can go. Lysel, I did want to ask you something.
Go on.
The nature of your bill hooksmanship. What would you say it is?
Lysel's going to give you a really confused look.
I have seen in some of the people we have encountered their philosophy expressed through their blade. J. Elwood has a glorious nature to his dreams, and that glory is expressed in his swordsmanship as well. This is fairly common. For instance, Xander, Prince Xander, hailing from Petrus, expresses the rigidity and pride of stone in his magic. So then, I must wonder, what is the philosophy of your bill hooksmanship?
They're going to ponder for a moment. I suppose a more defensive nature of sorts. Mostly to protect, and I guess some to J. Elwood's decree. Avenge as well.
I'm not finding the answer you're searching for. What would you say then is your philosophy to violence?
that many take advantage of violence to achieve their ends, and it is only the strongest whose ends get to, well, be brought to a means. So, for each side to everything, there must be someone that is the strongest, I suppose.
Indeed. Do you believe that is right, that rule? Do you believe it is how the world ought to be?
I believe it will almost always be involved in the world, given how people, spreading their hands, like as a generalization, given how people are, I don't disagree with it. I think that as long as it is used for good, it is not something that is bad. Although I suppose people's viewpoints on good are going to differ, and differ on each side, so I suppose to some I would likely be seen as evil.
Certainly that is the way it is. There is evil in the world as well. But how do you believe the world should be? Do you coincide with this decree, or given the option, would you have it some way else?
I think the world should be harmonious in everything it does, but it simply cannot be due to all the differences amongst all of its varying creatures and beings.
Good and evil, certainly. I admire your form of billhooksmanship, and I languish my own inexperience in the martial arts. I must ask, Lysel, you've granted me safe passage and invitation into your dreams, and for that I am quite thankful. Could you, perhaps, as we dream, teach me some of your art, just as your mentor did to you?
I'm still very inexperienced in a lot of it, but I can show you what I do know. Perhaps doing so will help me go over something I might not be entirely versed with, I suppose, and improve in that regard.
Indeed, it is mutually beneficial. On the matter of your mentor, do you have any intentions of searching for her in this land, SkyMount?
If I'm being honest, I don't think this is the kind of a place that she would be. I get the sense that the type of work that they did, was a bit on the grander scale. But I never really understood exactly what.
Where would you expect to find your mentor, then?
If I had to take a guess, anywhere where there are battles to be held. Maybe impending wars or sorts.
Interesting. Perhaps next on our agenda we may go somewhere with great conflict, somewhere where your mentor too may lie.
Maybe
and
if
while
we
we're
look
here
more into the
in
vampire
SkyMount.
solution. Not solution, issue.
That would be convergent to many of our values. I agree. And tell me, do you have some goal in SkyMount? If you are not searching for your mentor.
Well, I still need to learn from Jay, so I was going to more or less stick by his side and see how a knight should, act, be.
Hopefully that egg shall hatch as well, to give you a fine mount, as you wanted before. Or perhaps Philip could act as a fine mount for you.
Perhaps.
Might you have any preference?
I suppose it would really depend on what comes out of the egg. Obviously, it'll be a little while at least before it's as rideable. I can't imagine it'll have the strength to carry me at such a young age.
Certainly. In time, all shall become known. Well then, might we have any more business out here, or should we head back to the tavern? Or actually,
That would be good.
very well. I'm going to go find Vivian. I'm quite curious about this library as well. And its many rows of vampire smut that may teach me.
I think you'll find far better things at the library to be reading than, yeah. Especially someone with a mind like yourself.
Very well. I will see you later, Lysel.
Yeah.
This also give him a wave and head back to the bar.
Thank you for accompanying me.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and then we go over to Vivian and fucking forgot her name, Arethil, God. It takes you a while to get to the library again. It's like an hour walk. But it's a very nice one. The city is again very busy, but since the streets are wider and open, it doesn't feel as like cramped as Verdanthus did, despite the fact that this is a much larger city. The streets are still bustling with like businesses and stuff like that, but you can see the sun in the sky, and it's just slightly less cramped. The library honestly looks like it is built in like an old. The building style is very fancy. It literally looks like an old like church, just in like how fancy and like intricate the building is. And there's like windows in the front that have like they're like stained glass windows that have like paintings of like cool and interesting things.
Like a big old Gothic cathedral.
Yeah. And the doors are like wide open and like propped open, and there are little like floating mage lights that kind of hover around the door. The building is very big. It's at least 3 stories.
Great. So the whole walk over here, how is Arethil reacting to being in this giant city?
Make me an insight check.
Sure. I have my dice in front of me. That is an 18.
Yeah, you're looking at her and she like is kind of like wide-eyed looking around. Like externally someone might think she looks nervous, but really she is just so amazed. Because up until today, Verdanthus was the biggest city that she had ever seen, and now this city is at least like the 50 times the size of it. It looks like it never ends when you are just on this one street going in this one particular part of the city. It is. She's looking around at all the people, all these buildings that are made out of like really well-made materials, and all these shops that have these like grandiose like signs and stuff, and she's like looking around like, what the fuck? But she is like amazed, and she's like she's like wiggling her fingers in excitement, like just looking around at like
Yeah.
Like she's trying to take it all in and remember everything she sees, even though she possibly can't.
Yeah, got it. Vivian, who has also never been in a bigger city than Verdanthus, that was the biggest city she's ever been in, kind of like prepared herself mentally for it this time. Even still, it's a little overwhelming for her, but she's doing her best to keep it together. And on the walk over to the library, she is essentially asking Arethil about like her plans for what she's going to do here, because Arethil did want to get set up in SkyMount, and sort of asking like, well, like, what do you think of this place? What do you think of this place? Just sort of gauging her reaction to things.
Yeah. As you pass, there's actually like an apothecary that is like a midway point between the Yawning Dragon and the library. called Starfell Apothecary. And similar, it's like a very small place. It's like the most like quaint built place in this area, because it doesn't look as like carved out of marble pillars type thing. It's just like a nice little like brick building.
Sure.
That has like a little like metal sign that like moves and shifts with the wind and makes like these little stars move. And it's just like, and it has like a mini garden outside set up in like a bunch of boxes so that way they can get direct sunlight. With like this special like net canopy over it so that way it's not too much sun. So they have like a little garden outside and it's a little nice place. And like Arethel stared at it for like a solid 30 seconds and like nearly like when you guys were walking away for it, nearly like walked backwards because she kept staring at it even as you got too forward for her to look directly at it.
Do you want to go in?
Oh, can we?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and
we go in.
Yeah, the inside is kind of like a semi-dim lit. Like, it's still lit enough where you can see and look at everything. And there's, like, a bunch of glass cases with, like, different potions and, like, wacky bottles and stuff like that. And there's plants and, like, little net, holders, like those, like, braided, potted plant holders, like, dangling from the ceiling. And it smells like incense and, fruit on the inside.
Kind of fruit.
Kind of smells like apples.
Oh, I like apples. Yeah. Walks in, takes a look around all the stuff. Does it look like Kishi, or does it look like it's actually legitimate?
It does look
apothecary.
Yeah, it does look like an actual apothecary. That's kind of why, like, it goes less into, like, the, it tries not to be showy. It looks like just, like, all of the decorations, like, also pertain to running the shop. Like, the potted plants are not, like, house plants. They're, like, literally, like, you can see an herb that you know people sometimes use in, like, healing potions.
Yeah,
and you know
great.
they're growing inside because it's dark.
Are there, any people in here, or... I guess Vivian walks up to the counter, and, like, you can only see her hat above it, and Arethel walks over as well.
Yeah. You hear someone, like, shuffling in, like, a little room behind the counter, and then you hear, like, a bunch of boxes fall, and then you hear, oh, shit. Whatever. And you see a man walk out, from behind, like, from this little, like, place, and he looks to be... forgets everything I've ever known about anyone ever. He is a halfling. I forgot the word halfling. I was like, I can't remember shit.
How dare you forget?
Yeah.
My favorite D&D boys.
An elephant never forgets.
Yeah, he's a halfling, and he has this, like, gray, kind of wiry hair. He's pretty old. And it's, like, pulled back into, like, a really, like, poofy ponytail. His hair is kind of, like, really curly, so rather than looking like a ponytail, it just looks like he has, like, his hair drawn back, and then there's a big poof behind him of just wiry, curly hair. And he's wearing these goggles that make his eyes look 10 times bigger than they're supposed to be. And he goes, shit. Sorry, I didn't hear the bell ring when you walked in the door. Welcome
Is this
to...
you?
Go ahead.
I assume I was about to ask you the same thing. Is this your apothecary?
Yes, it is.
Show me what you have for sale.
Oh, easily. And he, starts walking around the store, and he goes, what are you looking for? Medicines? Do you need an ointment for something? Are you looking for a potion that does something wacky and crazy, where I might need to make it a commission rather than something I just have on a shelf?
Something you have on the shelf, whatever. Something you're proud of.
Ooh, well, if you want something that I'm proud of, he'll, do, like, a little side step, and, kind of shuffle down one of the, like, walkways of shelves, and he points to a bottle that, like, it does not look like a very showy bottle, considering the fact that it's wrapped in, like, I don't want to say a silk, it's wrapped in some kind of linen. and he says, "This is a regenerative."
Don't tell me what it is, please.
Oh, my apologies.
May I see it?
Yeah, he'll grab it and take it out and hand it to Vivian.
Mage hand it over to Arithil. Arithil, tell me 3 things about this potion.
She looks at it and says, it's a regenerative health potion. Instead of healing you all at once, it heals you over time. The reason that the bottle is wrapped in linen is because all of the ingredients are made from things that bloom at nighttime, so if the potion is exposed to too much light, its potency will decrease.
That was 2 things. Give me one more.
Oh, and also she, like, looks at it, and she says, this is of a, more, I don't want to say mid-quality as in bad, but it's of a slightly higher quality than, like, a basic potion, so it would, be more beneficial for someone a little hardier. Kind of akin to, like, a greater healing potion, rather than a regular one.
Mage hand it back. I'll take another, please.
Yeah, he'll, put it back up, and he'll, grab, like, one that's, like, on a higher shelf, and it's obviously, like, some of the more expensive things. He kind of can gauge what you're doing now. So he grabs one. It has no label on it, is not covered in linen, so you can see what's in it, and, like, at first the liquid looks still blue, but then when it moves at all, it starts glowing, like, 3 different colors, and he hands it to Vivian.
Yeah, same thing. She'll do this, like, 2 or 3 times, or until this guy gets sick of doing it.
Yeah. He actually looks very interested, and Arithil gets most of them right, except for, like, the last potion that he shows you.
Can Vivian take it and see what she got wrong with it?
Yeah. Effectively, the reason that she couldn't figure out what it was is because this has a, real quick, Vivian, make me a...
You want to call it an intelligence or wisdom check?
Yeah, make me a wisdom check.
Wisdom, okay. Adding my proficiency from alchemy tools, I assume?
Yes.
Ooh. I might not get it either, though. It is a 16.
Yeah. You look at it, and you notice that this potion has a, what some alchemists call a cloaking agent. Basically what it does is it's a potion ingredient that you add that doesn't do anything to the potion, but it makes it harder for people to discern what it is. You kind of get the sense, just because you also just have a good wisdom, that this was like, he noticed that you are a teacher testing a student, and he showed you this potion on purpose in hopes that Arithil would notice the cloaking agent and list that off as one of the things about it.
I think Vivian floats it back and says, swirl it around to the left 3 times. What do you see?
She does it, and she, like, kind of, like, peers at it. And says, oh, I think I get it now. This has one of those ingredients that makes it harder to visually inspect the potion, right?
Mm-hmm. You swirled it to the right, which normally is correct, but in this case the left is what you need. And then she's going to mage hand the potion back, and she's going to look at his purse and say, I didn't get your name, sir.
My name is Grim.
Grim Starfell, I take it? Or is that just a name?
Yes, my name is Grim Starfell. This is a family business that was passed down onto me.
And do you have any assistants, Mr. Starfell?
He, like, kind of, like, sighs and says, not anymore.
Not anymore. What happened? If you don't mind me asking.
Oh, nothing too grim, if you don't mind the pun. I had a...
Oh, I get it. That was good.
I have a daughter, and she used to be my assistant around the place, but my daughter decided that she wanted to be an adventurer. Not that I am against the idea, but she gave me very little notice, and so I've had to do everything in the store by myself for the last 2 months.
May we take a tour of your facilities?
Oh, sure. I don't
Vivian
have-
walks behind before he has finished answering. Says, "Come on, Arathel."
Yeah. Like you say, like you walk behind the counter.
Yeah.
He'll like follow you. He'll be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I'll go see what this is all about."
Yeah, and when we get back there, she's gonna look at it. I assume it's like a good setup. Everything seems legit. I don't
Yeah.
find the meth lab back here.
No, it is a pretty decent set. It is a very like it's a cluttered setup. It's definitely not like
Sure.
it's definitely messy, but like the organized messy of
Yeah,
like
it's the type where like he can reach for things without knowing where they are because he, has been here forever.
yeah, it's his organized mess.
Yeah. Great. She looks over, says, "Arathil, you have 3 minutes. Make a healing potion."
Oh, and she will go in and hold on.
And make it blue.
Make it blue. Okay. And Grim like crosses his arms and watches this. At first it looks like he's gonna protest, but then he's very interested and he just crosses his arms and like stands next to Vivian and like watches Arathil. And she
Vivian's fucking hazing her.
and sure enough, in 2 minutes and 49 seconds, she turns around and hands you a healing potion that is blue.
Sweat pouring down her face.
Yeah, no, she is sweating profusely. She suddenly has bags under her eyes that weren't there before, and she goes, "Making it blue is very hard."
Vivian takes it and like the fucking smallest smirk. But for Vivian, it's like the equivalent of a wide tooth grin. And she presents the blue healing potion to Grim and says, "What are your salary ranges, Mr. Starfell?"
Oh, well.
And she's going to basically set up a job for Arathil here,
Yeah.
assuming that she's passed.
Yeah, he goes over a few things and he looks to Arathil and says, "Where are you from, girl?" And she'll say, "Oh, I'm from Mapleview." And he goes, "Ah, Mapleview. Tell you what. I will give you the exact shares of my business that I was giving my daughter when she was here. You will have a place to stay, if you so wish. Her room has been mostly cleared out. And we will see how you do." And she goes, "Really?" "Well, yes, you just made a blue healing potion in less than 3 minutes."
"We will consider your offer. Thank you. We have others that we are considering as well."
"Oh, of course. But just remember," he like leans forward to Arathil, "none of the other apothecaries give you a share of the store's funds. Just an hourly rate." And he like winks both at her and Vivian and smiles and says, "Well, if there's nothing else, I do have to get to doing a subtle restock."
So wait, if he winks at both of us, does that mean he blinked?
No, he just gives you each a wink.
Oh, okay.
He did that shit twice.
One after the other?
Once with each. It was once with each eye, but not at the same time as a wink.
Yeah, great. Awesome. So yeah, we'll head out after that. How long did that take?
About 10 minutes.
Okay, so not
Well-
super long.
15 minutes, including the little test.
Great. Yeah, so we're going to walk outside, and I'm going to look at Arathil, and I'm going to say, "And exhale."
Okay.
Arathil,
Yeah?
let's go get cake.
Oh,
And she's
so
going to find a
excited.
place that serves cake.
Yeah, I mean, there's like 4 places just on the way to the library.
Yeah, we'll get whatever kind Arathil likes the most. We'll devour it as much of it as we possibly can. And then we will head to the library once that is all done.
Yeah, and what are you looking for in the library, Vivian?
So I have bad news, which is that I have 16,000 questions. And so, since it is currently 30 minutes to, I'm wondering, because I didn't send you these beforehand, I apologize. I have 12 issues in particular. Do you want to like skip to finish up Xander and Emiko's thing, and we can come back to this next time? So like you have time to like think of all these questions I'm going to ask?
Yeah.
Or do you wanna wing it?
Go ahead and type them up for me. Just so that way I can give you good answers, especially if they're pertinent to like the group goals, and we'll go back to Emiko and Xander.
Yeah. Sending them to you right now. Yeah. Okay, so we'll say that while all that is going on, the one thing that I will set up for this time is that we walk into the library and Vivian sees, like, I assume just like rows on rows and stacks on stacks of books.
Yes.
And Vivian, who has a single, like, 3-shelf bookshelf back home that she no longer has access to, is just like stands in the doorway with her mouth hanging open for a little bit. And then she like shakes herself awake and remembers there's a process to this. There's a step that I need to follow. And she loves a list of steps that she needs to follow. And so the first thing that she does is she rushes over to the desk and she gets her very first library card. And as soon as they hand it over to her and it has her name on it, she looks down at it in awe and pulls out her book and crosses off number 85, which is experience the height of true joy, and is going to bury herself in books for the rest of the day, dragging Erethyl along with her.
Yeah, I put a little reference image for like the kind of what the interior of the library looks like, except for the fact that like it's not as like bright light in here. Like it is bright enough definitely to read, but it's like comfortable, because it's coming from like candlelight rather than like electricity. And there's like tables everywhere for people to read. There's actually a little place to like get like coffee or tea and stuff like that. Like it is huge, and there are stairs and stairs to get to the upper levels of the library. It's a very, very big place. You're gonna be here for a bit. But going back to Xander and Emiko, you do your little shopping, you get some yummy treats. The street food here is very, very good. Like, by the time you guys get to the monastery, you're full. Like, you've had, like, a meal's worth of just street food. And, you come across this building, that has, like, the front of it, like, you can see into the building. There's no, like, quote-unquote door. It's just kind of like a building where, like, one wall is not there and instead has a bunch of, like, marble pillars that come down. There are steps, quote-unquote, that lead to nowhere that have candles placed on them in every direction. There's a fountain outside that kind of, like, well, not fountain, but there's, like, water outside that kind of, like, basically is, like, carved, like, the spaces it's in are, like, carved into the ground, and they kind of highlight a singular walkway up to these marble pillars. And you see that, like, carved into the smooth stone ground, because, like, once you turn off of the, like, cobblestone streets, it is, like, smooth stone that almost, like, is shiny. And carved into the ground is the monastery of the Wandering Light.
Andrew's walking right in.
Yeah.
He's gonna look for somebody that he can speak to.
Yeah, there's this, room is very large. You can see that there are, like, multiple corridors that it disappears into. But you see that there are, like, 2 people off to the right that are, like, in this, where the carved stone goes, like, deeper in like, layers. And then at the bottom of it, there are 2 people, like, fighting each other. They're, like, practicing. They're sparring. And you don't hear this person approach the 2 of you, but you hear a voice come from the side of you that just says, "Welcome, friends."
Ah, hello. A pleasure to make your acquaintance. I am Prince Xander of Petrus, and this is my traveling companion, Emiko. We were wondering if you could help us with a small spot of bother.
Oh, of course. That is definitely something that we are known for. What brings you in? And the individual you see is a very tall elven woman. She has like long black hair that is pulled into like a kind of like tight ponytail that cascades all the way down to her back, like it goes like all the way down to her waist. Despite the fact that the ponytail's kind of high. I guess it's a braid, but I don't know what this hairstyle is called. You know Shadowheart and Baldur's Gate, how she has like a ponytail, but then there's like more hair ties in that make it like circles, because it's not braided, it's just like...
It's all bound with chains.
Yeah. Her hair looks like that. I just don't know what the fuck that's called.
I don't know what it is either, but I'm very fond of it.
Xander is going to nod and say, well, I'm going to be very honest here. Frankly, I have no idea how any of Miss Emiko how any of her abilities work. So I'm not even sure if this is something that you can even help us with. But well, go on, Emiko. Show the arm.
Yeah, Emiko's gonna hold out her hands for this person to see.
Yeah, she looks down and she she reaches out her hand and she says, just so that way we have a, equal standing. My name is Milani.
Nice to meet you.
Would it be alright if I saw your hands?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and she takes your hand and she, looks at it, and she, kind of, examines and says, Miss Emiko, would you be so kind as to follow me deeper into the monastery?
Sure.
Come, this is just the entryway after all. I can't help much out here.
Xander is going with.
Yeah, and she leads you deeper into the monastery, and this building is huge, and she kind of goes, behind, she goes to an area where it almost didn't look like there was a walkway here, because, the walls, kind of create an illusion that the room ends here. Then she just goes around it into a bigger area, behind the first wall. And you see that there is a very, very large room that, again, kind of looks like there's stairs going down, but it looks like a Colosseum-esque thing. And there's a statue at the very end of a person that is wearing, similar clothing to Milani, and is standing in, a very particular pose. With, there's, lanterns hanging down, and there's, incense everywhere. The room is dim lit. And she is going to go down into the middle of this area and, stand there. And she'll hold out her hand to Xander to ask him to, she'll say, if you would please just, keep a slight distance, if you would.
Xander looks down, looks at her. Is this, slight enough, or do you need me to back up?
How far are you away from them?
I don't fucking know.
Just how she'll ask you be 30 feet back.
Okay.
And she'll look at Emiko, and she'll say, without use of magical items or weapons, I want you, and she looks at you, and smiles and says, to hit me as hard as you can.
Oh, it's my weapons or magical items. Sure.
Yeah, and for the sake of this, you don't need to unattune to, your thing that makes you do acid damage. You can just choose not to do it.
Okay.
I'm not gonna make you go through all that annoying shit.
I fucking might miss. Hold on. Uh, 12.
I mean, you wanna spend some key and bump that up?
Missing a
I don't
stationary
think-
target.
I don't think I can get high enough.
No, go ahead. If you...
Well, if you spend 3, that's plus 6 for 18, right?
Yeah, Yeah, actually, yeah. So I'm gonna do that. Is that enough?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, give me damage.
Five.
Yeah, you strike her with your unarmed strike, and you actually see across her skin, like, a bunch of, like, where you hit her, there's, like, a little bit of text. And you see her take the damage, and then she, like, and then it, like, absorbs into the words, and you notice that she's, like, whispering something under her breath, and she goes, "Good. Now, if I'm studying you correctly, you are also capable of channeling a sort of negative energies into your strikes. Am I reading this correctly?"
Yes. Yes, I can.
Cool. Excellent. Go ahead and do that. Give me your best shot.
Okay. And an 18 hit, so that will hit with a 19. Key point to add that. So it's going to be 9 bludgeoning damage and then 10 necrotic damage.
Yeah, and when you strike her, this sigil, like, appears, like, above her chest, and it's, like, a circle with, like, this, like, ornate bird with a bunch of other symbols, and you strike it, and you see, once again, her take the damage, and then it, like, gets absorbed into the sigil, and she goes, "Good." And she says, "And now, my dear Emiko, you have wounded me. In the same breath, I also believe that you are able to heal people."
Yeah, and she's going to use a key point to use her healing hands.
Yeah. So go ahead and roll that.
For 9 damage, 9 healing.
Yeah. And once again, the sigil that, like, kind of lingers above her chest, like, glows very brightly. And she goes, "Good." And then she says, "Emiko, tell me about yourself." And she says, "And while you're doing so, I want you to focus very hard, and I want you to hit me again. Whatever you want, whatever you got. Still not including magical items or anything like that. Just act as if I am your adversary and hit me."
Okay. I'm not exactly sure what you want to know about me.
Anything. Who are you? Where are you from? Favorites, and I need you to say them with utmost certainty as you attack me.
My name is Emiko. I'm from Ulitine. And then 20 to hit.
Alright.
For fucking hell, cat, seriously? For a total of 7 damage. Like, am I using, like, my whole attack action, or, like...
Yeah, like, whatever you would do on a turn, you have that available to you right now.
Okay. Second attack is 25 to hit. And I'll use a key point to add my Hands of Harming. And so another 7 bludgeoning damage and 5 necrotic damage, and then I will Flurry of Blows.
Yeah, go for it.
For another 25 and a 20. For a total of 17 between those two attacks. She will also add that her favorite color is yellow, and she has 9 siblings.
Yeah, and when you deal this damage to her again, anywhere that you strike her, there's these words that appear on her skin and these sigils that appear just before her skin. As you're doing so, when you get all of that out, for some reason, you are just, like, worn out from just that one barrage of attacks. And she goes, good. And then she is going to strike you.
Oh, no.
Alright. Does a 24 hit?
Yeah.
Alright. And, you take 12 points of force damage as you see that the words on her skin, and she literally strikes you with 2 fingers, right in the ribs. And she uses her key to convert all of this into force damage. And you feel like this, like, really deep pain in your ribs, and you see the words and symbols that were appearing on her skin as you were striking her appear on yours in that area, any exposed skin as well, for like a few seconds. And she stands up straight again and says, good. Interesting. Now, Emiko, I want you to show me your hands again.
Hands.
Yeah, and when you hold your arms up, the blackness in your skin has extended a little further, where now it goes fully past your wrist and starting on your arm.
What the hell? You were supposed to be helping me!
I am helping you, but I cannot help you if I first don't know the cause, and I know if I had asked you, well, Emiko, what is causing this? You would not have given me an answer.
Well, yeah, if I knew the answer, we could fix it.
Precisely, but now I know the answer. Follow me. And she'll, like, walk to the very, very back of this, like, arena thing and up to the statue. And she'll say, this power of yours, you use it often, yes?
Yeah, when I need to.
And do you have an understanding of what your power does, what it means?
Well, I know I can use negative energy to hurt someone, and I know I can use positive energy to heal someone, but I thought that was kind of it.
That should be kind of it. I'm sure if you asked anyone else what was wrong with you, they'd give you some answer that made no sense, or something where it's, you know, very vague and long-winded and, quite frankly, annoying. The issue that you are facing, my dear Emiko, is that your negative energy is consuming you every time you use it. You are succumbing to it rather than harnessing it. That mask, she, like, leans forward. Where did you get it?
I got it from the spirit world. It was my spirit guardians.
And, she, like, looks at you again, and she's, like, kind of, like, circling you at this point, and she says, and this mask you wear, you cannot take it off, correct?
Yes. Correct.
And, she takes a step back, and she says, so as far as I know, what you told me is that your name is Emiko Kimishita. You come from the city of Yelitsune within the landmass of Shure. You belong to a noble family, and you have 9 brothers and sisters. And also your favorite color is yellow. Correct?
Yeah, except she would have not said her last name.
Okay.
She would have just said Emiko.
Cool. Yeah, and she says, another thing about you is that your best friend and almost found family is that gentleman over there whose name is Xander. And you've had this problem with your hands since you started traveling with your new companions, and you don't know what's causing it.
That's correct.
Indeed. This is a affliction that has come across many individuals that practice the same study as you, and some of them find out the answer and some of them don't. The issue is that the negative energy that you are exuding is eating you alive. It is controlling you. Maybe not outright, not in the same way that someone loses their mind to a spell or loses their mind to their own rage the way others do. No. Literally every time you use it, it is taking a part of you that it wants to keep and hold on to. It is like the death that you bring onto others is eating you alive, gnawing away at your magic until you'll have no more and lose yourself. The way to counteract this, usually some will tell you something like, you have to find yourself, and you have to do all this and that's not really an answer. And it's not really productive either. Essentially, you have to find the balance at which you harm and at which you cleanse harm. You have to find out which one of these aspects of your magic you resonate with more, and you have to harness it. And while that may all sound confusing, it's very easy. The energy that people like you and me resonate whenever we empower our abilities is a key factor in this, if you don't mind my pun. Because I didn't mean to make it. The start of figuring out how to reverse your problem is to look at every fight you do from now on. Are you going to be in SkyMount for a while?
At least a week, probably.
Well, Emiko, in the time that you are here, you look to be the adventuring type, and you said that you travel with others. Every time you fight a creature in the next week, I want you to come tell me about this interaction. I want you to tell me what you were thinking when you were attacking with this ability that makes the negative energy on your hands grow. And then I want you to tell me about every time you have used your power to heal in that time. Is this something you can do for me, Emiko?
Yes I can.
If, within the week, you can bring this information to me, I can tell you where you can start on fixing your problem. Is that acceptable to you?
Yes it is.
Excellent. Bring me your reports written on paper. Whenever you return to the city after any of your exploits, or whenever you get home before you rest. Make sure that you are writing these things as soon as they happen, if you have the availability. I don't want you to do it while you're in danger. And bring them back to me as soon as possible. This information needs to be fresh.
Okay, will do.
Yeah, and she will bow to you and say, I look forward to this, Emiko.
Just out of curiosity, how is this information going to help?
Individuals like us, there is a lot that goes into our powers and abilities. Emotions, motivations, things like that. As much as people would like the answers to be as easy as I cast a spell on you and figure out why, it's not. But also telling people, you need to go find yourself is fickle and terrible advice, because you can change any moment. You can see something that changes your outlook on life. You can witness an event that changes you completely as a person. And thus the energy of your magic changes. I want Miss Emiko to tell me what she thinks and what she feels every time she uses this ability that makes her condition worse, because then we can figure out how she can reverse this effect. But I have to know first, because it's different for everyone that experiences it, but it comes from them. But telling her to just go kill things until she figures it out is, well, counterproductive.
Xander takes this information in, and it's very clear he doesn't understand what the fuck this woman is talking about to any degree. But he looks at Emiko and just kind of like gives her a questioning glance, like, you know, are you cool with all this? Like, how are you feeling? Sort of thing. This guy, like a nonverbal, like checking in, basically.
Emiko's just gonna give you a slight nod as like confirmation that she's okay. She understands what this lady's talking about, and she's grateful for the help.
Well, I'm sure with our track record, it won't take us too long to get into a fight. Thank you.
Of course. And, she will turn, sit down in front of the statue, and it looks like she starts praying.
Emiko will leave after that.
I think that's our cue, and Xander will leave with Emiko.
Yeah, and since we are 3 minutes till, I think I will end session there.